Flight Sports TV, man. That's my dude. I rolls with him.
You heard what the man said. It's Flight Sports TV.
Flight Sports TV, that's where it's at.
Flight Sports TV.
What's going on, people? It's Flight Sports TV. I appreciate y'all for checking with me. You already know what it is. We back with another one of them things. We're going to be discussing a whole lot of C-Red Nation talk right now, a whole lot of Chicago Bulls. There's definitely a whole lot to discuss tonight. So much to unpack, especially headed into this next season. This will be the second stint for these guys. This is a new team, that have formed, a season ago. Zach is the mainstay. He's been there, but, he's been added a collection of some great pieces. And I believe they've added a few good pieces headed into this season as well. We're going to get into that as well. They added Dragic, they added Drummond, they had a good draft. So hopefully all of these pieces can come together for Chicago, but we will be documenting the whole situation all the way into the season start. It's going to be pressure. I know a lot of people might sit up here and try to deflect it. Most players will, all the professional athletes deflect pressure when it's posed on them, but the Bulls, there's a lot of money on this roster, a lot of people getting paid. So it's time. Of course, Billy's on the clock. I know the front office has seemed to be very patient throughout this situation. I do believe that they feel like at some point the tides will turn. But I mean, hey, we're gonna have to see. Because this year will be pivotal. The Eastern Conferences are going to be a serious threat. There's no telling where the Bulls will finish. But they got themselves a tough encounter. They're starting off the season hot. Hopefully everybody is intact. That is the plan. Because if everybody is not intact, they're starting off behind the 8 ball. But the question I pose to the people, to the world, to everyone tonight, who's under the most pressure? Is it anybody that maybe didn't even make the list that we said? It's only a couple of characters you could put when you typing in the title. Because we could have put Vooch in there. We could have slid a couple more faces in the picture, but tonight I want to discuss who's under the most pressure. Is it Lonzo? You all know that Chino Hill's prodigy, just that electric point guard, who had the Chicago Bulls at that #1 seed, at the top of the food chain in the Eastern Conference, looking like a serious threat. Is it him? Is it Zach Levine, the dude who just signed for that bag? What was it, 200 something? Good Lord. Some critics said he didn't deserve it, but hell, he got it. The man is filthy rich, ladies and gentlemen. It will be pressure. They didn't want him to get, some people didn't even want the Bulls to give him the money. Now the fact that they gave him the money, the pressure will be on. Make no mistake about the situation. He better bring it. Is it Demar Derozan? He didn't have pressure on him ever since the start of his goddamn career. DeMar DeRozan, we all know what he has been doing. He's been staking up the joint, but I mean, it is what it is. This guy right here, DeMar DeRozan, in the postseason, he's got to pick up his play, because if he don't pick up his play, we're going to continue to see, the destruction that we've witnessed, night in, night out. Things must change. We're going to get into it. Salute to my man Basil Carpenter Jr. in the building. He said pressure on Zach. He's got the big bucks. Yeah, that's what I said. I mean, everybody's going to have their take on who should have to be under the most pressure. I do believe that Billy Donovan is under pressure as well. So is Vooch. I would have loved to have gotten Vooch in the picture as well. Vooch is definitely under pressure because who knows what they're gonna do with him. They could move him. Vooch is definitely an up and down player. Truthfully. Some nights, you like, what the hell is he doing out there? Some nights it's like, oh my goodness, we just so happy to have him. This is the kind of player that Vucevic is. He definitely can impose his will on the defense, but at times he can get slow and get tripped up and pick and rolls, and it could get very problematic when the Bulls are just flying all over the place trying to cover for whatever Vucevic done fucked up, and that done happened so many times. The Bulls got themselves a piece of work ahead of them this next season. Everybody better be ready for training camp in some capacity. Hopefully, we get clearance. We all know we patiently awaiting that word on Lonzo Ball, but to all signs, I believe we looking at a bright situation where Lonzo Ball is available to come back. Zach Levine, man, the man Zach, man, this dude is the truth. We all know we ain't gonna discredit his performances. This guy Zach, he's had one wonderful career, man. You got to think about it. This kid was drafted number 13. He was a lottery pick out of Minnesota. I liked him in Minnesota. I ain't gonna lie. I think they may have traded the wrong guy, but I don't even think Minnesota knew he would turn out to the guy that he became. Nobody's seen that. I know definitely after that ACL tear, he definitely upped his shooting. We all knew this guy was a high flyer, but nobody knew he was going to be a sharpshooter. I didn't see that. Everybody looked at Andrew Wiggins as just a head and shoulders better player. But if you speaking today, I mean, I think Zach Levine is the better player. Zach Levine is the franchise guy. Andrew Wiggins never, amounted to that. My man Zach Levine, he's definitely had himself a good situation. His last year in Minnesota, the guy was averaging 18 points per game. So the man been scoring for years. The man was traded, in that deal, for Jimmy Butler. That was a major move, to get moved out for Jimmy Butler. His first season in Chicago, the man put up 16 points per game. He continued to progress. His second season in Chicago, he upped it to 23, and then he's been hovering around the high 20s ever since. The man put up 25 and then 27, and then just this year prior, the man averaged 24 points per game. So he was still able to average high numbers, despite, with the team getting strengthened. That was definitely something that he just did, but I know the conversation is being had with amongst, all three of them and really the whole team, but really amongst the stars of this team. DeMar DeRozan made it very clear. The big four is not a big three, it's the big four. Zach Levine, DeMar, Vooch, and he added Lonzo. You got to include Lonzo. Who's going to sacrifice out of those four? You understand? And I know that's been talked about. I believe more so the sacrifice is going to come from Vucevic, DeRozan, and Zach, more so than Lonzo. I feel like Lonzo has sacrificed too much already. I mean, good goddamn. I mean, how much the man got to sacrifice? Seriously. Shout out my man PBN Patch. He says Pat Williams and Kobe White more than anyone. If they don't improve at all, we are in trouble. I mean, hey, man, like I said, it's going to be blame to go all over the place. So Zach Levine definitely, he may have to alter his game. Maybe he still does score 24 points, but maybe it's more efficient. Maybe it's not so much forcing shots. A lot of times this season, it was a lot of your turn, my turn with him and DeRozan. I believe those two are going to have to make the sacrifices, because DeMar DeRozan, he went out for an MVP caliber season, and it really amounted to a first round exit. They did not close the season right. A lot of people did account too. They were gassed. Yes, they were. There was gas like hell, coming into that situation, into the postseason play. But nonetheless, man, the Chicago Bulls, man, will have their work cut out for them. This whole DeMar DeRozan situation, he will have to alter his game next season. I'm expecting him to tone it down just a little bit. He's gonna have to maneuver that basketball. The basketball can't stick. It's like we give the ball to DeMar at the top of the key. He ready to start dancing, and then it's like he got everybody spread out. On isolation. It's just disgusting. At times, but the problem was DeMar was converting on a lot of those plays, which led to, them continuing that style of play. But I mean, nonetheless, man, I want to see DeMar DeRozan, or deferring a little bit, giving the basketball up. He will have an opportunity to do his thing. I still believe he's going to average 20 plus. He gonna do his thing. He averaged 50% from the field as well. He put the three ball up a lot, compared to what he did, in his prior years. We got to admit that as well. The man, and he shot 35% from three. Now, I don't think nobody's seen that coming. We all know that the Los Angeles Lakers, they dropped the ball, not getting DeMar DeRozan. I think in hindsight, they would have never went after Russell Westbrook. They would have took DeMar DeRozan, but that's neither here nor there. It is what it is. Like I just want to say, the man put up 5 rebounds and he put up 4 assists. So what I want to say about that 4 assists is this: DeMar DeRozan, you got the basketball in your hands a whole lot. You average 38 minutes. I mean, at times you playing 40 plus. I mean, seriously, those assist numbers got to go up, and that may need to be the difference in terms of making sacrifices. A lot of people discuss sacrifice, especially with Chicago, because they're gonna have to, because the team is loaded. Somebody's gonna have to make the sacrifice, and the sacrifice might not necessarily mean, I go from averaging almost 30 to 19. No, it could be DeMar DeRozan averaging 25 points per game, but 8 assists. Because that he was maneuvering the basketball, didn't stick as much. That's his number one problem, DeMar DeRozan. He has to fix that. We all know that. He was traded for my man Kawhi Leonard, out of Toronto. The man was a franchise guy out of Toronto. He was the 9th pick in the draft. It's pressure on him. He didn't put it on himself. He didn't get the job done. With Kyle Lowry in Toronto. It was crazy. I think it was very unfair to, his whole situation, because I felt like he should have got that opportunity, in the Eastern Conference. And I think that would have shook off some of this negative stigma, that they have on DeMar DeRozan, because he plays every season with a chip on his shoulder, and is that the reason why he starts the years off so hot? Because DeMar just come out crazy, and then at the end of the season he's gassed, or in the postseason he forgot how to convert and what he was doing in the beginning. But he never got the job done in Toronto. I wanted to see him get that opportunity, because Kawhi Leonard just came in there and won it. It was no telling that they would have won it anyway, because you see it took a heroic ass shot for these guys to convert in the first place. Look at the heroics, for them to even get to that point. So it was no telling DeMar would have been able to capture that championship. It took a game winner, that bounced all around the rim, by Kawhi Leonard over, Joel Embiid, but Joel Embiid has definitely got to, we're going to get to Joel Embiid. It's Flight Sports TV. Shout out to All Access. Dex, what's the deal? We got Dex in the building.
Yes, sir. Shout out to Flight Sports TV, the machine, the voice of the voiceless, the people's champ. Yes, Flight, you was cooking. I appreciate your lyrics and the things that you were saying. Shout out to the panel. Shout out to the chat. I just believe, Flight, that the pressure is more on DeRozan than any of the three. Because people is looking at DeRozan like, can he do it? Will he do it? And when he's going to do it? As far as Lonzo and Zach, I don't really think too much pressure is on them, because they have never got to the point where they were that close to doing something and people start expecting a little more. A lot of people don't even believe Zach could be the best player on a championship team. And we already know how they feel about Lonzo. I mean, come on. I mean, good golly Wally. I mean, you know what I'm saying? For crying out loud. I just think that all Lonzo have to do is just come in and insert himself. The lover boy just need to be more passionate about getting to the rim and delivering every game. Once he gets to that level, and do not allow anybody to deter him, regardless of who's a veteran, who's the highest paid player. Just get to the rim with passion, the same passion that you have when you're sitting, next to your girl and you're playing with your daughter, and you just want everything to work out for the betterment of both of them. Have that same passion, bring it to the court, and allow yourself to be the best basketball player that you can be. Because we know Lonzo, come on now, my brother. We know that you can do a whole lot of stuff. And sometimes we feel that you surrender your own game to people that you feel might be a little more veteran or might be a little more seasoned and things of that nature. But Zoe, you got to go. Zoe, you got to go. Zoe to Z to G-O. Okay, that's what we want. Zoe, you got to go. You got to get into your head and don't let it seep out that you have to go. And that G-O is go to the rack, get your fouls. You're shooting tremendously from the free throw line. We see the improvement. So hopefully that the pain and everything that you went through in this off season is behind you, and you can go ahead and be a formidable guard, feasting on these little babies, these little bitty boys. You know how we say little bitty boys. Okay, and when you do that, that Bull team is going to be ferocious. It's not gonna be no heifer. It's gonna be a Brahma. But based on Lonzo and based on Zach not being a semi-pestilence, because Zach has been a little pestilence at times. We've seen it on the court when Demar took a shot and Zach raised his hand up like, what are you doing? And Demar happened to hit that shot. But you can't have that type of defacing of your players because you're constantly on TV. You don't know when that camera's going to be on you. You got to just go with the flow and allow yourself to be who you are, Zach, because they gave you all that cash. You know what I mean? They backed up the Brinks truck, and deservingly so, because you deserve it. You've been on that team for a long, long time. You deserve it. You know what I mean? I ain't mad at you. They trade. You was with that Butler thing. So if they trade Butler and Butler goes down to Miami and take his team to the championship, then Zach, that's what they traded you for. So Zach, you got to get on your high horse. Stop acting like a little spoiled brat. You know what I'm saying? Stop letting that light skin overtake you. Okay? Even if you gotta sit in the sun a little bit, play like a dark skinned player. Okay? And get to that rack, dunk on people, act a fool, shove people, push them, kick them if you have to, hold their jersey. Just be a little scandalous out there, Zach, because it's important that you take that role because C-Red want to see you excel. C-Red is not tripping on no Derozan. That's my homie from Compton, but they're not tripping on Derozan. C-Red want to see Zach ascend to the MVP invitation. Whether you win it or not, they want to see you in that top 3, top 4 MVP vote towards the end of the year and hopefully get to the second round or the Eastern Conference Finals, Zach. That's what they're looking for. We done seen the rendezvous with DeRozan for too many years, and look at the crescendo. Disappointment year after year after year. So DeRozan going to have to take some time off during the course of the season. I said that last year. People like Unstoppable, because we had our knocks on that DeRozan needs to take some games off. And then other people say, no, don't take no games off because you're going to lose. What about you lose? See, you're not looking at the long term. Take a few games off during the season, reset, relax, and then go back at it and be ferocious. So if those three can implement those ingredients into their soup, Chicago Bulls is going to be, listen, it's going to be ugly, okay? They're going to be knocking heads with Boston. They're going to be knocking heads with the Bucks, and definitely they're going to be knocking heads with Miami, and we're going to see who read shines brighter, Miami or the Bulls in this upcoming season, Flight?
Right. Good call on that, Dex. I mean, so you saying that clearly you got DeMar DeRozan with the most pressure.
I'm saying that DeMar DeRozan has the most pressure based on what he have already done
Right.
as a player in this league. That's where the pressure come in for DeMar. Now, for Lonzo, of course, health is the mainstay. And for Zach got to have that mentality. Zach don't have the mentality just yet to wear that armor. You follow what I'm saying? To be that shiny
Right.
knight. I think one more year with DeRozan, he's going to have that shining armor because DeRozan definitely caught him off guard. So now Zach have to play with his stupendous athleticism, but be able to win games. And in order for him to do that, Zach have to step up and say, let Zoe run the offense. Let Zoe go. Stop holding him back. We're not waiting on Vooch anymore. We're not waiting on Kobe anymore. We're not waiting on Patrick anymore. We got to go forward with what we got. And if those guys can't hang, well, then they got to do their own thing. That's the type of mentality Zach got to have. He can't be trying to spoon feed everybody. Oh, Pat, okay, I know. All right, Pat, we're going to get you. Okay, Kobe, I know, we're going to get you. Okay, Zoe, you can't do that. Zoe, let's go, man.
Right. Most definitely. Shout out my man Marvin in the building. What's good, Marvin? Shout out Chi-Town. What's the deal?
What's going on, guys?
What's
Salute.
good?
Salute
to
Sports
everybody
TV.
in the building. That's facts. Salute to everybody that's in the building. Everybody in the chat, get active. Who's under the most pressure headed into this upcoming season for the Chicago Bulls? Is it Lonzo Ball, that Chino Hills prodigy? Is it my man Zach Levine, Mr. 200 something, something, something? Is it DeMar DeRozan, the man, who's been balling every regular season, but come postseason play, things start to get a little, things start to fumble, if you let me say that, and then you always got the number one man, Mr. Billy Donovan, the guy tucked away hiding, that's causing a lot of destruction. We'll get to him later. What's your thoughts on this situation, Marv?
Well, I have said it before, guys, and I guess you can't say these three guys on the screen have a lot of pressure. But to me, I think it all boils down, and most of the pressure goes to Billy Donovan. Because, as we all know, in the NBA and most sports franchises in sports,
We're going to get
heads
to
roll,
Billy later.
and they usually start with the coach. So I'm going to say this. As far as on the floor, I think an overall healthy team can help the pressure of all of them, meaning I think DeMar went out his way to try to do a little bit more for the team because he knew we wasn't fully healthy. I think if we're healthy, he doesn't have that big burden on his shoulders. So I hope they can spread this pressure out, because it's not real good to have that much pressure, a whole lot of pressure on one player, and then the rest of the players feel like they don't even have to do anything. But I think they all can be in. And back to what Dex was saying, a lot of pressure could come off of DeMar DeRozan with Lonzo Ball being more aggressive. If he just takes the ball to the hoop, then DeMar can't take that shot. We need more shots out of him. We need more shots out of Patrick Williams. We need more shots overall on the team. Better shots. Now, I can't really just stress better shots when you speak about DeMar DeRozan because his field goal percentage is very good. We all know that. But just him wanting or having to take the shot at the end of the shot clock, we need to avoid that. So I would say if you're going to just bring these three guys up, I would say more pressure is on DeMar simply because of what he did last year. Can he duplicate that? And hopefully he doesn't, because that's not a winning formula for us. We don't need him scoring that many points. That means somebody else is not carrying the torch. We need more play. We need to spread this around, less minutes, more points for other players. It makes the overall team better. So, you can even think that it would be Zach Levine because of the contract that he signed. But I think Zach Levine's demeanor is calm, collected, cool, and I think he can handle it. I think Billy Donovan is the key to all of this, guys. You mentioned it 1,000 times, Flight. Billy Donovan is on the hot seat as well. He needs to show more.
You got damn right.
Yes, he needs to just show more he just got to show that he's the head of this team, and he hasn't did that yet. So I think if he takes that that position on the team, then it'll take a lot of pressure off of some of the players. But if you want to just say these three players here, I would say DeMar DeRozan. And the reason I'm not saying Zach Levine is because of the way Zach Levine is. He's more of a laid-back guy, and he really hadn't did anything, so where's some pressure now? He played him his first playoff series just this past season. He wasn't, spectacular, but he can go back and say, hey, I was a little nicked up. Hey, DeMar could say, hey, man, I was dead tired. Vooch could say the same thing. So I think the team in general being healthy will help the pressure all the way around. But as far as getting to where they need to be, this is going to be a collective thing of the whole team. I think they need all hands on deck, everybody up front, and I think they can get through this season.
Right, I agree with you. Salute to CWE in the chat. He said Levine dunks. Yeah, shout out Thunder. He said Billy sponsored. We're gonna figure out what's up with my man Billy Donovan this season. I think he's definitely under pressure. He's in the hot seat. I think he's who would you think is some of the top coaches on the hot seat right now? And I'm gonna say him, Mike Malone. I mean, who else? Whose seat is hot as hell right now?
Wait. Why Mike Malone?
I mean, this. That's what I'm saying. I was looking into some coaches who've been on the hot seat because I was thinking about informing the people on that. And I just thought Mike Malone on the hot seat because it's just like he just can't get it done. It seemed like every stint it's like he's a bridge coach in my humble opinion. And I feel like if he don't get it done this year, how many times you need to see it? I think they need a new voice before they get ready to start dismantling the whole situation. Because it's getting time. Maybe I'm ahead of the curve, just like I am with Billy Donovan. There's some people telling me he's not on the hot seat, but real Chicago people know he on the hot seat. It's just like with Borrego. They were saying, nah, he's comfortable. He just signed an extension. He ain't going nowhere. I said, okay, but they was like, all right. I'm telling you right now, let him chop that bullshit off as Billy Donovan to be fired. And I'm
saying Mike Malone.
Mike Malone.
I agree with
my
Billy.
bad.
Yeah, I agree with Billy. Mike Malone, what indication you got?
Well, my indication with Mike Malone is they haven't got it done. You got an MVP caliber player. This is Jokic. They haven't got to the finals.
Like you've been disrespectful.
What?
You said you got an MVP caliber?
My bad. You have an MVP player. My bad. But you know where I was going with that. I'm just speaking very fast. Let me slow down. You have a reigning MVP out there. You have to. What's going on here, man? They have to figure this out. And I think before they get ready, time for the.
What else is there though? What else happened with Mike Malone?
That's what I want to ask.
I understand. Well, Sacramento, it didn't work out. They didn't.
No, I'm talking about Denver.
Well, in Denver, they have not gotten at least to the NBA Finals. They had a good team. You had an MVP. No, I mean it was times in the bubble. They just didn't. They never got it done.
They went to the Western Conference.
Dex, in my humble opinion, they're starting to regress. The West is getting better. I'm just listen. I need to see more from them.
They've been riddled with injury, Flight. I got to give you pushback.
All right, that's fine. I'm gonna give you some more pushback. If they lose in the first round, Mike Malone will be fired. You can book that. If they lose in the
that's
first
a hell of a
round,
revelation.
Mike Malone will be fired.
And that's it.
And you can say he ain't on the hot seat. If they lose in the first round, he will be fired.
But Flight, they getting their players back. They got to be acclimated. You know what I'm saying? They have to be augmented. It's a whole lot of integration going on right now because he's been dealing with a shadow version of the Denver Nuggets that played the Lakers that won 2 games now. Played the Lakers when they won that bubble, and the Lakers was the healthiest ever. So I don't understand where you getting this thing from.
I got Mike Malone on the hot seat, man. Maybe I'm wrong, but let's see. Let's see. Let's see. If they lose in the first round, they have another fumble in the playoffs. I could see a coaching change in Denver. Because it's not going to be long before.
See, Flight, you're talking too fast, Flight. That's that New York City slick shit. You're talking way too fast. What fumble in the playoffs have the Denver Nuggets had?
Listen, they have not, got to the ultimate goal. I think it might be needed time for a new voice to get them to the next level. That's just
so a new voice going to stop them from being injured?
No, I'm just saying, let's see what happens this year. Guys are coming back, right? So let's
Yes, that's
see.
what I'm
Let's
saying.
see. All right, there we
And you
go.
want to fire
So
him already? And
no,
he
I'm
just
just
played the Lakers when the Lakers was healthy and his team was healthy. He went to the Western Conference Final. At one point, I remember Jalen Rose had the Denver Nuggets as the best team in the NBA.
right.
Oh, who's Rose?
There was a lot of times where the Nuggets are ranked very high. They're always the sleeper team that nobody's talking about, but they have not got it done, under Mike Malone. That's all I'm just saying. There's no disrespect to Mike Malone. I'm not saying he's not an NBA coach. I'm just saying that, before they start dismantling the roster where people start getting moved all over the place. I didn't like the Gordon move, that's another thing. So I need to see a little bit more from Denver, but just see what happens, man. I might
Well,
need time for a new
Okay.
voice, in
well, let me
Denver.
say,
That's all I'm just saying. Just look out for. All I'm saying is, how about just let's keep an eye on that situation, and I will
okay,
this season.
yeah. Let me
Let's
say
keep an
this, and
eye on that.
this is
And
to
but I
Deck's
want then I
point
want to add
also.
then I want to ask who coaches may be on the hot seat when y'all get done. That was a question I wanted to ask.
Yeah, and
Okay.
I just want to chime in on that. To Deck's point, I believe, and I kind of agree with his sentiment. Meaning this, for like what we're saying is, it's hard to fire a coach when he hasn't had the players that's supposed to be on the roster. I'm not saying he's not deserving of being fired because they haven't won a championship, but you have to at least give him a chance. And then to even fire him after this season, with these guys just coming back after 1 year, I don't know. It all depends on how bad they play. Now, not making the playoffs way under 500, it would be
Yeah, they're gonna
understandable.
make the play. They're gonna make the playoffs.
Yeah, but
Let's just
Exactly.
see
If he
what
made the
happens.
playoffs with nothing, you think he's not gonna
with
make the playoff with
nothing,
something?
I mean, yeah, it's going to be hard to fire him. That's what we're saying. And far as another coach that I feel to be on the hot seat, as sad as I might want to say it, is Billy Donovan. Listen, this year is predicated on the Bulls getting past the first round. I'm not saying he's going to be fired if they don't get past the first round because that series has to look real bad. But if they don't make the playoffs, he's gone. I can tell you that
Right,
now. I mean, with the roster that they have, with the talent they have.
right.
Now, here's the difference, though. If they
Especially
end
playoff
up, if
positioning as
they
well. I'm sorry, Marvin. Yeah.
but if they end up riddled by injury again, he will not be fired. And that's the same thing with Mike Malone. You, if you're not giving your coach the full Monty, as they say, then how can you expect for him to get the full Monty out of it? Now, considering Mike Malone, what Denver did last night, I mean, last year with a shell of that team, hell, that's a damn good coaching job to me. But when
Hmm.
you get your players back, it brings more pressure.
And sprung
It
an
brings more
MVP out of
pressure.
that garbage.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It brings more pressure. It's
Shit.
fun winning, but the expectations go up and heads roll when you don't meet those expectations. Look at Phoenix. As well as they've been playing the last couple of years, everybody's almost done with Phoenix because they haven't won the championship. DeAndre Ayton is kind of he's disgruntled in a sense. How old is Chris Paul? You can go on and on and on with teams down the league, but as quiet as it's kept, even though Boston made the NBA Finals this past season, if you can remember, in the middle of the season, that team was almost in disarray. It was a
Yes.
meeting by Marcus Smart that turned that team around. Little things like that can help a team. And sometimes it's not the coach that does it, but you got to have those kind of players on your team. But as far as Mike Malone, I just feel it's hard to say he will be fired, not unless all the players are healthy and they don't even make the playoffs. I think then he would probably be deserved to be fired.
And you're gonna see pigs with wings.
Yeah.
Because with that type of talent, I mean, come on. I know, listen, first of all, Jokic is the two-time MVP, right? Second of all, he has no all-stars around him. He haven't played with no all-stars because MPJ is not an all-star, nor is Murray. But Murray's on the fringe of being an all-star. If he can have a decent season, if he can average about 22 points a game, I think he will be an all-star this year. But prior to that, Murray has yet to make the all-star cat call or catwalk. So that just shows a lot about Malone. Listen, I respected him once he played a healthy Laker team. That was the biggest team in the NBA that year when it was in that bubble. I know it was a bubble, but they had a dogfight with them fucking Denver Nuggets. And Murray was holding his own. Murray rose as a star in that series. We really saw that this dude can really play. This damn Canadian, you know what I'm saying? He can really play some basketball. He's not just a name. He can actually play, and he can play with Jokic. You follow what I'm saying? So it's not a back and forth with them two. We know KPJ is a plug-in. You know, he has athleticism. I know his back, but in college, you know, he was pretty damn good athletic. And we seen what he did against Brandon Ingram when they faced each other. We seen that. Okay, so we can't deny what KPJ can do on a consistent basis because he was blasting people. Now they got Aaron Gordon, which will play much. I think he will play much better. He did good last year, but I think he'll play much better this year because his role, as far as his output, will be diminished. That means he can do other things and don't have to worry about being the second scorer next to Joker. And we already know he's a freakish athlete in itself. So Aaron Gordon, KPJ, Jokic, Murray, and whoever else they trickled up in there. I think they got one of my homeboys from Pasadena up in there. So I'm not sure, but we'll see if he makes it through. But nevertheless, I mean UCLA. But nevertheless, I just think that Malone has did a really good job, and I'm surprised he have yet to win Coach of the Year with this Denver squad. So that right there, I think he haven't won Coach of the Year. I'm not sure. My mind's a little foggy right now.
Maybe I need to take a double look, man. Maybe I made a mistake on that one. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. You know, we all mess up, but maybe I need to take a double look. But I know that hopefully we want to see Denver convert in the postseason eventually. They've been knocking on the door.
And that's what I was getting to.
For a while.
I can understand you feeling like that because Denver has shown that they right on the cusp, and and they keep getting there and then going nowhere. Kind of like the Jazz. But when you look at that team, you have to consider at least that they've been injured. And when you have an injured team, I guess they can say mercy to the coach. I guess that's the word to say, mercy to the coach. But if you get your players back and you don't show no progression, then your head is on the damn swivel. So this year is key for him and Billy, because Billy actually got away last year because of injuries to the Bulls. Well, if we stay healthy, that's not on the table for him no more. Same thing with Mike Malone. I really believe that if his team is healthy, with them winning, and here's a tall task that he has. They won 48 games last year without the players they're getting back this year. He's got a hell of a job in front of him. He want to get there because what it should be. If I was the owner of that team, my consensus towards him would be, we won 48 games last year. We getting our players back. We need more than 48 games, and that should be on the table for him. Same thing with Billy. If we're not injured, you got to get us further than we went. And in Billy's case, because I think Mike Malone does a better coaching job than Billy at times. Billy has to coach better. It showed. He didn't show adversity. He didn't show adversity when the Bulls start getting banged up. You gotta swing. You gotta mix this thing up. You gotta make it work.
He waited to the end to get a tech, for crying out loud.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You can think back to so many different things. But as far as any other coaches, I guess you would have to go to the bottom of the barrel and start looking at the lesser teams in the league. But I don't know all the coaches just right off, but I don't see too many teams being not coached well from the teams that I seen when the Bulls played. Everybody's going to probably point to Steve Nash, but I don't think he's going to be fired. I don't think he's on the hot seat either. Sky could be.
Yeah, Sky is down there having episodes. Sky is on the panel. Salute to Sky. So before you go, Sky, let me play it out because we already know you finna have your episode.
Sky, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. He playing.
Oh yeah, he want to put you on slow mo.
The Sky already. You got to slow Sky down because you about ready to explode on Lonzo. I can feel it.
No, I'm not, man. Y'all putting all the blame on everybody but Zoe. We all know that Zoe is the vital piece, right? From what y'all see, right?
No, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Ain't not what we saying. That's
So
what
But I
it
don't
is.
believe the pressure on him. I don't believe
so
the
if you
pressure on him, Scott.
well, why is not pressure on him?
I mean, because you can't plan by injury. You just got to get out there and try to get healthy.
Well, wouldn't this be his second year in a row with an injury?
Scott, I'm gonna tell you why pressure's on
So
Billy.
so what that make him
Before you
look
go,
like? Hold on. What that make him look like if he get injured this year?
There's no pressure on a player that's been injured,
But
just like it's no
how?
pressure on Demar. But let me say
How?
this. All right, now, you an Indian or you going to listen? There's no pressure on Jamal Murray. There's no pressure on Michael Porter Jr. They coming off an injury. There's no pressure on them.
I mean, those are more serious injuries to me, in my humble opinion.
I mean, any player that's coming off an injury, there's no pressure on him. Not
But
the immediate year after.
Lonzo played last year.
man, we gotta be honest though, man. Even when you talk about them two, right? Man, we all know the Nuggets ain't even no contender, bro. Why y'all even saying that?
oh my God, Sky, no way. I
Man,
know
come
you
Scott,
didn't say that.
all right,
You got to
hold
put
on,
them on the
Scott.
Nuggets.
You know you played Denver.
on. Okay,
Marvin, you cut out.
yeah, you cut
Sky,
out.
you can't say that, Sky.
Man, them dudes
Look,
that
okay, hold on, Sky. Look at the power rankings.
man, but this what I'm saying. We going off 2 years. Them dudes ain't playing like 2 years. We going off for what? It's what 20. We going off 2000. 2020 stats, man. It's 2023, man.
No, but Sky, listen what I'm
Man,
saying.
we gotta
When
be honest,
you,
man.
but Sky, hold on one second. When you
2020.
do the power rankings, right? Okay, so they looking at a healthy, what have every statistics that have helped them and have not helped them, and they still higher the power rankings. Now, all Denver have to do is play a moderate game, right, at a moderate pace to make it to the All Star break. Once you get to the All-Star break, just like the Pelicans did last year, you can explode. Just like Boston did last season, you can explode. You follow what I'm saying? Just get to the All-Star break healthy, get that break, and then that's when most people say the season starts after the All-Star break. And once that All-Star break is over with, I just believe that Denver can explode
All right,
and get up into the Goldilocks zone, which is the top four. You know what I'm saying?
check
And
this
once
out.
you get into the top four, anything can happen. We
This
saw
gon'
it with Phoenix.
this gonna answer my question, Dex. Right? Based off the Chicago Bulls team and based off the Denver team and the road they got to take, who chances are stronger to go to the finals than them? Not win a championship, but stronger to go to the finals.
Okay, would you really say that again? Because let me understand you again.
Based on the team and the roster in the conference they play in, what team will make it to the finals based off the competition that you think out those two? The Bulls or Denver? So who will have the hardest pat beat?
I think the Bulls have
Denver
the
will.
hardest pathway.
Who?
I don't
No,
think so.
Bulls got the harder
I think
schedule.
Denver.
Dog,
Oh, well, yeah. No, no,
that's
actually,
one thing I agree with,
actually,
bro. That's
well,
one thing I
hold
got to
on.
agree with. Bulls have it easy, dog.
Denver and the Bulls have about the same strength of schedule
Nah,
this year. Just so
we ain't
coincidental.
talking about strength of schedule. I'm talking about based off the team and the rosters. Who you think? Um, the Bulls can make it at least to the top three. Two teams gonna knock out each other. So based on however that goes. So who you think? I'm gonna say out the top four, the Bulls. If the Bulls be in the top four, right? The only
Mhm.
people they got to worry about is Milwaukee. Nobody
Boston
taking
and
the Nets.
Miami.
Man, nobody taking Boston. Man, serious, man. They ain't gonna be able to do that on 2 years in a row. We all know that, man. Come on, man. They got that
You
this year
know,
off D. You think that's gonna work again?
you know what, Scott? That's so remarkable you saying that because the guy was just talking about how good Boston is, and I said the same thing. I think they're not sleeping up on nobody no more. I don't
Nah,
think it's going to be as easy as it was last year. I'm not
nah,
going to
man.
say they're going to drop way down, but I don't know. It's not going to be as easy as it was.
Man, we can't forget, man. Boston got their off defense, man. They not gonna be able to do that 2 years in a row, man. Off defense, nah. That's what killed them in the finals. They couldn't score points.
I'm gonna say this right here: the Bulls have a better offensive arsenal than Boston to me this season.
What?
Exactly.
Yes,
Yes, they
especially
do.
with the inclusion, of Andre Drummond, right? Who already is on record of speaking that he wants to be the rebound champ. So basically, what Andre Drummond said, I'm removed from the offense, except I'm going for offensive rebounds. I'm going for the
Yeah.
defensive rebounds. I want to be the best defensive player in history. So when you have a player like that of Andre Drummond ilk that you know he can get 20 plus rebounds in a game, that says a whole lot for the offense, and it makes it easier for Billy Donovan to manipulate Zach, Zoe, and DeMar DeRozan, as well as trickle in Vooch, and he don't have to worry about the what's your name now. Patrick Williams need to have that same sentiment. Patrick
Yes.
Williams need to have a sentiment where he's not looking to be offensive driven. He should have the sentiment is I want to be the best wing defender the Bulls ever had in history. That's what he needs to step up and say. For some reason, I don't know what's up with this young man. He will not say that. And that is just a little disturbing to me because he knows he has a plethora of offensive firepower with Zach, Zoe, DeMar, and Vooch to some extent. And even when, sprinkling some Kobe White, if he gets his head on straight. So Patrick Williams definitely need to surmise his game to be the best defensive wing in the NBA. He needs to put that in his freaking head and stop thinking he's going to be the next 30-something guy on this Bulls roster.
Well, and I want to add on to that too before Purple Baby goes. The Bulls were 28th last year in defensive rebound. If you think that don't mean nothing, they were 26th in offensive rebounding. Extra possessions mean a lot to a team, especially if you got a decent field goal percentage shooting team, and with health, a good defensive team. It's a whole lot easier playing defense when you take the ball out of the net than you do when they have to take it out of the net. Than you do when you have to just rebound. Fight for rebounds and get back. With Andre Drummond coming out and saying that about his rebounding prowess and wanting to be that rebounder, and like Dex just saying, taking out of the equation about scoring, then you don't have another player that's disgruntled about, man, give me the ball, I got the shot. This guy is out there hustling to get offensive, defensive rebounds. It helps the overall team. But to Sky's point, I feel a little different about the Bulls having a tougher way to get in there than the Nuggets. I think the West is better than the East. So I think the Nuggets has
So
the tougher
I'm,
role,
mm,
is what I'm
I
saying.
agree with you. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I'm
Yeah,
saying the
I
same
think the
thing you
Nuggets.
said.
No, I think Dex said the Bulls. I was just going to chime in and say I think the
Nah,
Nuggets have a tougher role
me
because they
too.
got the West.
The
They
No,
got
Nuggets.
they got
wait.
tougher
I
teams
said
coming
the
out of that West.
Bulls. Hold on 1 second. I said the Bulls because I thought he said who will probably, have a better chance of getting there.
Oh no,
Yeah,
So
tougher
that's what
role.
I'm
I
saying. I
misunderstood
said it
what he
like that.
said.
The Bulls. Y'all just answered it different. That's what I'm saying. The Bulls will have the better chance of getting to the
Yeah,
finals than the Nuggets.
Yeah,
that's why I
yeah,
said the
yeah,
Bulls
yeah.
on that,
Okay,
Yeah,
based on
all right,
that.
yeah.
all right, yeah, yeah. It's simply because with the Nuggets coming out of the West, it's just tough coming out of that West, man.
Yeah, but
You
listen, you
know,
got the champs in the West. The champs are in the
that's right.
West.
That's right.
Ain't no champ in the East.
Yeah,
And the Eastern Conference representative got their head blistered.
that's
We
right.
saw the fat meat in their head. What Golden State did to them boys.
And that goes back to Sky's sentiment about if Boston can do that again. The book is out on Boston. They're not sneaking up on nobody no more, guys. It ain't about them creeping around the backyard no more. Everybody, everywhere they go, they the hunted. They not hunters no more. They are the hunted. That's one thing about getting good. When you become good, everybody want to beat that ass. So they're gonna have a tough game every night, including all of the lesser teams. So the Boston got a job on their hands. Seriously.
And Jason Tatum ain't showing up in the playoffs. Jalen Brown, the one who got him that fault.
Yeah, and the question I have is this: are they one bad game from another disgruntled fucking team? Because you know where they can go. You know how they can fire off on each other. I'm just wondering. I'm
So
not
Purple
saying this.
Baby, what you got to say?
So So let me get this straight with Boston. Y'all saying that like Boston won't be the number one seed or like top 6 or something like that?
Oh, they definitely
No,
not gonna
they'll
be
be in
number
the
one
top
seed.
five.
Okay,
They'll
and I'm not tripping off of that, but y'all do still have them in the top 6, right?
Oh yeah, they're gonna make the
Yeah, I do.
playoffs. They ain't making no play-in. Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, I
that
agree
Well,
could
with
my
y'all.
be
thing
top
with
5.
Boston is I've always felt this way. I think Tatum, he exceeded expectations a little too early, which had a lot of people, and rightfully so, screaming out that he was better than Simmons and Ingram, you know, and stuff like that. And that was a fact. But that's because he's over exceeded expectations. Ever since then, I think, me personally, I don't think he's been underwhelming. I just think he didn't have the time because he exceeded expectations so early on. I don't think he had time to really kind of go back and make mistakes. Cause people, you know, they went crazy. Like nobody expected him to come in the league and do what he did and be as important as he was to that Boston team when they. I forgot what round of the playoffs that was, but he did too much too early.
So he peaked too early.
Yes, and that don't mean he still can't be a great player. I think he was
Dave
still.
James, stop it, Dave James. Where's the mods at? Dave James acting a fool.
Uh,
He's having an episode.
I just think when health, like, it's just weird to me. Like, do I agree with the pressure that's on him? Yes and no, but I think it's really because of his first season, bro. That's all it is. Like, really, just sit back and think about it. What he came in and did was crazy to a lot of people. Like,
Yeah,
how he, like, what he's supposed to do? Like, if he never would have came in and did that, it's still no excuse for how he played in the finals and stuff like that, and in the playoffs just in general. But I think people would have been a little easier on him and whatever because compared to Brown, Brown has had time to grow and develop and hit walls and make mistakes. Tatum, to me, people hasn't given him any breathing room off of that first season. Like that's just wild.
yeah,
Hey, Purple baby, I kind of agree with you about Tatum. Jason Tatum, he's something else. He's going to really be something else in the future. He can't do nothing but get better because he get his mindset, his mentality is getting real good with that NBA game. You know what I'm saying? Like he got idols and stuff like that, like Kobe and all them other guys and stuff. That's real good because all they do is make his mentality strong, just like theirs. I don't see no problem with him. I see him developing just real nicely. But I would say that young guy, that what's his name? That what is his name out there in in Arizona? That one guy. You all was just talking to Murray. You know, Tatum kind of remind me of him, and I'm thinking like
No,
Murray.
Murray's in Denver.
Yeah, in Denver. I'm sorry. Right. Y'all just talking about Denver. Right. And you know, I think if you look at it, if you what it sound like what you said about Tatum, I kind of think that's what's going on with Murray. He kind of came out too fast. You understand me? And now he getting hurt and stuff like that. Now he getting question marks behind his name and stuff. But I don't see Tatum like that though. Tatum ain't doing nothing but moving straight ahead. Purple baby.
Yeah, Jason Tatum. Listen, one thing about Jason Tatum, he is who he is. Okay, there's no issue with Jason Tatum. Now, the only thing I feel with the Boston Celtics is the fact that they added a premier point guard. Right now, this premier point guard he's going to be as vocal, as stern as a Marcus Smart. That because Marcus Smart was a spark, even though he had some failure moments in the playoffs, where some people refer to him as Marcus Dumb, but he still has that type of Patrick Beverly type voice that resonate with those players, and an extension of the coach Udume, right?
Yeah.
So how will that affect Marcus Smart voice with Malcolm Brogdon coming in, and we all know Malcolm Brogdon is a chill type player.
The
He's a
Dexter's way.
cerebral player, but he's a
The
chill
Dexter's
type
way.
player. He's not a Marcus Smart.
Yeah.
Now, what was you saying? How would that affect? How would that affect what now?
How would that affect Boston mental? You know what I'm saying? Because when you had Marcus Smart, you had Grant, and you had old man Al. All of them was synergy. Was synergy. Stemming from the coach. The coach was a root. Odume was a root, but his message resonated with Al, Grant, as well as Smart, and then they in turn put it in the locker room. So if Malcolm Brogdon becomes more so the centerpiece of operating that offense, do you think that might diminish the voice of Smart, which eventually will diminish some playing or putting out a hell of an effort for Boston?
I think the fact the ad on to Brogdon, like I said, I liked him. I loved him when he was in Milwaukee. But the ad known to him is going to make Boston that much better. So, and I'm also saying this too to say that that problem, that internal problem that Boston had, that the Celtics had, what they play within their organization with the players and stuff, that attitude gonna be washed up out of the window because Mr. Smart ain't gonna be able to start that with them because they already on notice. You know what I'm saying? Know it's a problem, and they know where it's gonna stem from, where it's gonna range from. So that kind of stuff ain't gonna be going on. I see Boston going out taking care of business straight up out the gate. Especially with that coach they got, because that coach takes over. I love the way he took over in the playoffs. What about you, Dex?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And see, and you need that type of synergy where the coach is the root, and then you have a few players that buy in on that, and they will run through a brick wall for you.
Right.
But it's at first, Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum wasn't on board until that infamous meeting. And then once they came out of that dark room, Boston had transformed into an East Coast Conference representative.
Right. But
Will
then,
that happen again?
But then also remember this, you got to go this far. The one that started that whole situation wound up being the scapegoat of the whole thing because look, they brought Brogdon in. Ain't nobody else spot really too much got replaced but Brogdon. Brown got a problem. He might have an attitude problem because they're trying to trade him for somebody else and all this other stuff, but that go along with the game. As far as that go, I think all of them gonna be great.
Exactly, and that's my issue with Boston, because they brought in a premier point guard to maestro that offense. Is saying that Marcus Smart is not good enough,
Yeah.
and Marcus Smart have intangibles that's more than his skill set that keep Boston as a cohesive unit and fighting, constantly fighting. I don't know if Brogdon is that type of player. He has yet to show that.
Brock, I'm sorry, Dex, but I have to very much strongly disagree with you. That I'm telling you, man, Brogdon was rookie of the year, man. Brogdon ain't no joke. He went out to Indiana and did everything he had to do with them. When he was with the Bucks, he did everything he had to do with them. He played great. He didn't take a back road to nobody, nowhere. I watched that young man come up. He got a good game. Marcus Smart can't even hold a candle to him, Dex. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, we're not talking. Listen, you're misconstruing what I'm saying. I'm
Okay.
not saying anything about his skill set. I'm not judging that. I'm familiar with Malcolm Brogdon. But in
Okay.
Indiana, he was quiet. He wasn't, he was kind of quiet over there in Indiana.
He was
I
quiet in
think he made an
Milwaukee too.
all-star.
I'm sorry, Dixie, I'm cutting you off. Let me tell you about the man's characters. Man's characters like that. You know what I'm saying? They want him to run for Senate out here. They wanted him to run for Senate out here in Milwaukee. They wanted him to run for office. That young man was a very smart, intelligent young man. I'm telling you, it's smart for him to be quiet. That was smart problem. That was his biggest problem. He should have shut up and let the coach take care of things. But he want to get the news and talk about everything. Brogdon is not like that, Dex. Please, Dex, don't get me started between the difference
No,
between
burn. I'm about to turn the music on you. But
the.
listen, Marcus Smart was vocal, and that vocal was key to Boston Celtics turnaround when Boston Celtics were flaming out of the playoff race. And so he stepped up, called that meeting, went into the infamous dark room. Whatever happened and whatever was said resonated with the team, that they came out a whole different monster. That's what I'm saying. That right there is vital. You can't buy that. You either born with it or you born without it. It's got to be in you, not just on you. And I just believe that I don't know how effective Marcus Smart will be now, since Malcolm Brogdon is there to operate the offense. What voice do Marcus Smart have now? That's the only thing that I'm a little shaky about. Who's going to listen to you now? You're not running offense.
Right. Okay. Yeah, but like I said, I think maybe you give Marcus Smart a little bit too much credit, Dex. I think the coach had a as a matter of fact, I know the coach had a whole lot to do with that. Marcus Smart brought it to the forefront. That's all good, Daddy, but that's all good. But he paying the price for that right now, because right now his spot is in jeopardy of being taken away from him. So I don't know what to tell you on that one. And I don't think Marcus Smart will the peoples out there to go that far to the playoffs and to the championship like that neither. I'm sorry, especially when it came down to that series against Golden State. Marcus Smart was real smart then, Dex. I'm sorry, Dex. I can't agree with you. I think Brogdon will do a better job than Marcus Smart will in Boston.
Well, we will see. I mean, we'll see the tail of the tape once the season starts. Basically, we'll see some of it in the preseason.
Yeah.
How the direction, and because you got to remember, Boston played with fierceness. They didn't go out there and shoot the ball, and if we get the rebound, cool. If we don't, play a little. No, they played with fierceness. Old man Al played some of the best basketball of his career.
I agree.
And sometimes people their button have to be pushed. And I just think that Marcus Smart pushed the right buttons in that meeting to hold everybody accountable. And when you got supreme athleticism and supreme talent, when somebody push your button, that supreme athleticism and that supreme talent comes to the forefront. And if you're better than the next guy, it will show. And that's what I appreciate about Marcus Smart, those intangibles. Not so much that he got a hell of a crossover or he's an all-star, but sometimes you just need those intangibles. You just need that cornbread Maxwell.
Okay. I hear you.
Shout out my man Dave James in the chat. I ain't hearing from Dave in a minute.
Oh yeah, shout out Dave James. What's good, Flight?
What's good?
Hey, Flight. Hey, Flight. I wanted to tell you this. I like to think what you got up here. Who's under pressure? And then you got Zoe up there. That's my boy Zoe. You got Derozan up there, and you got Levine, Jack Levine up there.
Oh,
Hey,
I
Flight.
want to.
Okay, hey, baby, let me tell them this right there. They can be just second. Look, hey, Flight. All the Bulls players are under pressure. I'm telling you, Flight. It's a lot of pressure in Chicago and the Bulls organization. They got to show up. Go ahead, baby. Purple, baby, you got it.
Oh, I forgot. It's not called the Olympics. I forgot what it's called. But you know, when the foreign players go back home to play, I can't think of what it's called. But that's besides the point. Evidently, Kai Jones is over there playing for his home city or whatever they call it, country. My fault. He's over there playing, and the people that's watching said the same thing about him that the people in the U.S. is saying. They're saying he's far from being ready, and they don't know what the Hornets are going to do with him. I don't know what his points was because I didn't see a stat line or anything, and but I do know they said he shot 5 threes, I believe, and made 2 or 1, something like that. And I'm like, so he playing the same way we seen him play in the summer league. He played like that over there. I said, yo, that man, the Hornets made a mistake. So what do y'all think about just Kai Jones in general?
Well, honestly, RIP to Kai Jones. Basketball. No, but I just think that Kai Jones is trying to do a little too much too soon. Dude, just rim run, block shots, be the Jackson Hayes version on the Charlotte Hornets. That's it. All this trying to shoot threes and all this other stuff, just let that come somewhere down the line. You just only wait. What is he, 19, 20 years old? I mean, wait till you're about 23, 24 to get to start jiggling like that. Just be a good rim runner, be a good shot blocker, and then listen and follow whatever Melo asks you to do. You'll be all right.
Well, me myself, I agree with you, Dak. With me myself, I never watched that guy play too much. Well, I know you said he was with Charlotte and everything, but I never too much. I heard of him and everything, but I never too much watched him play. And I know he didn't get too much time with Charlotte because I know Charlotte, their front court was weak, so especially their centers and their forwards. But now I didn't hear too much about that. I don't think dude's gonna be that great anyway as far as that goes. He's gonna be average NBA player, sound average. It's my opinion.
Only reason why I was asking is because if I keep wanting to call Zeller Plumlee, but if Plumlee is gone in a year, like, and you just drafted Mark Williams, and you got Thor, and you got like, what you gonna do if none of them are ready?
Purple baby, let me share this with you, please. It's an old riddle that we used to say as a kid, sitting in kindergarten in a circle around a teacher. And the teacher used say, okay, sing after me. Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king horses and all the king men can't put Charlotte Hornets back together again. I mean, Humpty Dumpty back together again.
Oh yeah.
Forget the Charlotte Hornets. They a long way from being competitive. I don't care
Oh,
what pieces that you put together to try to make a puzzle. It just they just lambasted.
I mean, and I definitely agree with you, but I just thought that was hilarious. They took that man with the first round pick. They traded with the Knicks and got the Knicks pick, and they drafted him. Like, what y'all doing?
They don't know. Charlotte is a weak organization.
This is gonna be really scary.
Why you say
Uh,
that? Scary.
It's because when we talked about a couple of weeks ago what LaMelo should average, so we can ensure that Michael Jordan pay him his supermax or however it works. And people was like, oh, he 20, 25 and stuff like that. I just fear that I don't think that's a good idea on the simple fact. Remember how people was complaining about James Harden when I think he was averaging like 30 or something, and people was complaining because the team wasn't winning or they was winning, but when it came time, when it mattered the most, James Harden came up empty. I don't want people to start viewing LaMelo like that.
Well, to a certain,
Yeah, he got his points, but his team is losing.
yeah, right. Well, that's called
Well,
your
that's
best.
what they wanted with D'Antoni, right? Remember when everybody was crying for D'Antoni? They crying for that dumbass shit. The only thing they want is for LaMelo to get his numbers so they can have some content to talk about. I
Right.
thought that was the dumbest shit in the world to try to get that old man over there to coach that young kid. You know what I'm saying? You got coaches that can get the same out of LaMelo that you thought D'Antoni can get. All they got to do is say, "Go, Melo, go." That's it. That's all you got to do. You ain't got to be no damn Dan and Tony to get LaMelo to score high figure points. But what we're trying to figure out is how can we get LaMelo to be the best basketball player?
Yep.
He's already raw at it. All he just needs to sharpen some of them edges a little bit and be well rounded, and he can be that. So I don't know why dummies was out there talking about Dan Tony this and Dan Tony that. That was some of the silliest content that I can ever think of because Dan Tony is not going to make you a well-rounded basketball player. Dan Tony going to run you in the ground, and you're going to need staples in your spine.
Yeah. Because it even led to this. Like somebody said, by him trying to, like, I want him to get the 25 points, but I want the context to matter. I basically want it to be winning basketball. I don't want him to overexert himself and, praying to God he don't get injured, but injure himself. Now it's just like, well, he got injured and it's this, and then see that Anthony Edwards stuff is gonna come up again. Then you got people. I've heard people recently say, as of a month or two ago, that Halliburton is a better all-around player than LaMelo. And I'm like, that's irritating. And then you got Cade, people talking about him and Cade. I'm like, I don't know where he can win in this argument.
Well, listen, LaMelo is head and shoulders over everybody that you just named except Luca.
That's why I didn't name. I mean, I'm just,
The only difference is he's playing with players that just playing for money. The only player that was gritty with Melo was Miles Bridges. Everybody else is down there just taking Michael Jordan's money. We know that. Terry, PJ, whenever he gets it, and damn sure Gordon Hayward. Gordon Hayward should never went to Charlotte Hornet. Ever. I mean, what's in the cards for Gordon Hayward to go to Charlotte Hornet? I mean, honestly, if we're talking real basketball, what was the purpose of Gordon Hayward going to Charlotte Hornets, coming from the high horse of the Boston Celtics, reaching the Eastern Conference Finals?
I tell you why. I tell you what it is, Dex. It was just like you said before. You said that Michael Jordan, he's real good with playing that 50, 5,500 basketball going into the NBA because he's still going to get paid. So he sit up there and take on a contract. No, that man ain't going to live up to it, but see, tie that money up anyway. So when they start asking about Michael, you got that little free money, man, why don't you do something with it? No, Rozier is messing me around and then all of a sudden, Hayward ain't going to play for 2 years now. Now you want to still get rid of everything. Well, it makes sense now to get rid of it now since you didn't already said that you finna sit up there and hold on to Gordon Hayward and you're signing him because everybody in their mama asked you why did you sign that man for all that money? And you said that we're going to make a good deal out of it, so it's going to work in our favor. So, yeah, it's working in your favor. You want to stay 500. So that way your fans can just sit up there and have pictures of Gordon Hayward for the next 4 more years, and he ain't going to play a game. That's why, Dex. Sorry.
Exactly. Yeah, I feel you on that. But Gordon Hayward went for the money. He didn't care about winning no rings. He gave up on basketball. Once he left Boston and went to Charlotte Hornets, that was it for him. I mean, his mentality switched. I ain't going to do much. I'm just going to go down here and get this money and get some generational wealth for my kids, which is nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with him thinking like that. But everybody needs to come to the grips that Gordon Hayward's not in it to win it. He's not in it to win it. Okay? Terry Rozier is not in it to win it because no way those two, I'm talking those two specifically, coming from that type of organization, that type of franchise, being in that situation, you coming to the bottom of the barrel, you scraping the sea floor. Come on, man, you playing for money. You ain't playing to win nothing. And that's their attitude. All you got to do is look at them. I saw them play. I saw them get a timeout, come over to the bench, not say one word, sit down, put their head in their lap. I said, this is disgusting.
Okay, and it goes right back to what you were saying too about that question you had asked. Why is Michael Jordan doing all this? And the reason why he's doing all this again is the fact that he want to stay up under that 500 thing. That's why he didn't want to sit up there and play Lonzo that little money, extra money, in order to get him, let the Bulls go get him up out of their hands. That's why he didn't want to do that. And like I said, he still want to go back and blame it on that what's the name, the salary cap and all that old crazy stuff. He still want to stay. He don't want no improvement within that organization. They ain't trying to get no improvement over there. They gonna jackass Melo for a minute. They got Jello sitting over there just trying to please Melo, but then all they had to do was please Melo and get things right over there, get Lonzo over there to start running and doing something. They got Melo out there running looking stupid, and now they want to take the best players that Melo was going with Melo. They don't even know what they're going to do with them. That's a washed up organization. Dude need to sell the whole thing, but they ain't going to sell the whole thing because he got that Jordan brand on the side right there. And that's his main cash cow. Believe it or not. Back to you.
Yeah, Basil, you're right. They all in it for the money. I understand. But at some point, you got to get with yourself and say, if I leave Boston, where I'm going to go from here? If I leave Boston, I need to go with wherever Kevin Durant is, Stephen Curry, LeBron James, Giannis Antetokounmpo. I need to get with these guys. No, he didn't say that. He said, I'm going to leave Boston and I'm going to go to Charlotte. Yeah, Charlotte. I'm going to play with Devontae Graham and Terry Rozier. I don't like that.
like I just this this is just gonna be bad this year. I got a bad feeling because it's just the other people in his draft class and then the people that followed his draft class. If they're in winning situations or they're in decent rebuild situations, it's like when they were talking about Kendrick Perkins and y'all was like, oh, LaMelo didn't make his list for the under 25. I'm not surprised. Every I don't know if De'Aaron Fox is still under 25. I think he might be 25 or 26, whatever. But that don't surprise me. That he's not gonna make anybody's list for the best players under 25 anymore. His team ain't that good.
I'll agree with that, Purple Baby. I was just like Dex had said, you know what I'm saying? Luka's the same way. Luka out there in Dallas, they ain't all that good. Luka just getting all that stardom. Melo getting that stardom too, Purple Baby. But Melo ain't lacking on that stardom. And that's what it is. He getting more stardom than exposure because they ain't getting no exposure out there in Charlotte. But he getting that stardom though. I'm telling you, they love that young man. Look at his shoes. Look at the shoes selling out. Look at this. Look at his material. Look
I
what he got
mean,
behind. You know. Look how
and
he
with
made
all
it.
that being said, most of the basketball community will sit there and look at their stats and their games and say that all them players is on Lamelo is a level or two below them.
Well, be honest with you, the entirety of the basketball community gonna be looking at Melo and see what he do on the court, and not just his stats. You know, not only just his stats. That's one thing enough. They gonna see that he's winning. Whatever he do, he gonna be winning. And if he ain't, even if he loses, he gonna be winning. Cause that boy look good. That young man look good. I'm sorry. He looked like a winner and play like what? Ain't nobody gonna mistake him for being a loser.
I'm going to say it like this. I think the NBA is trying to be ahead of the curve because they know LaMelo's coming.
Yeah,
And they trying to pump these other guys up because LaMelo can pump his own self up. He doesn't need no validation from Kendrick Perkins and all those type of dudes.
right,
LaMelo's already that dude, right? But the
right.
thing of it is that those other guys need to be pumped up. They need to have some type of shock value to them. LaMelo don't need a shock value. All you got to do is look at the ratings on League Pass. They're the number one League Pass team outside of the Lakers. You follow what I'm saying? I'm talking about that's have those out of market games. They like number one. Or well, I mean, honest, I think they like number four, 3 or 4. Right? Lakers, Golden State, Milwaukee. Then I think Charlotte. Those other guys ain't league pass phenomenons. They're
And
not
and
busting
they
the charts when they got their games on League Pass. People go straight to Charlotte and the Bulls and the Lakers and Golden State and the Bucks in Brooklyn.
hey, and I
So they really
understand
know
that.
the deal. They just trying to pump these other guys up. And let me tell you another thing. They thought LaMelo was going to be separated from his dad. Let's get to that. Let's talk some real shit. They thought they had him separated from his dad. They turn around, they making commercials, doing shit, going to do shows and all kind of stuff. You
Yeah.
follow what I'm saying? They were playing one on one in the Charlotte gym. They thought they really had him separated from his dad, and it was going to, and Melo's going to be their cash cow. But unfortunately, that's not the case. He's with Rock Nation. Rock Nation is trying to be family oriented and things of that nature. Rock Nation, they hold up the black fist. You know what I'm saying? Power to the people and things of that nature. And I don't think the NBA is too happy about that. They think LaMelo is going to be in the lines of like the mentality of the Kevin Durant's, the LeBron James, the Kyrie Irvings, the James Harden, those type of guys who like want to force their way out of small markets and go into a big market. While these other guys that they pumping and parading, they happy to be in the NBA.
And,
So they trying to stay ahead of the curve. There's a whole lot of politics going on behind Melo. Trust me, I know behind Melo. Let me see. What
like,
else can I say? Yeah. So basically, yeah, that's basically what it is. What it
but
boils down to.
and I'm not saying they not. They trying to. I understand that part of pumping the other guys up, but let's be reminded that a lot of people, and I keep saying this, Darius Garland even last year had a way better team than the Hornets. Who else do they keep comparing him to? Van Fleet is good coaching and a better organization as far as drafted players. A lot, like it's not weird because I understand the game and the politics within that game. It's just like, okay, y'all keep, and then Cade, although the team is younger, his team in the future, in the next year or two, is going to be better than the Hornets. And then Jalen Green, I don't know how people really feel about him. He get some mixed reactions, you know. Some people really like him, some people don't. Then you got Franz Wagner out there in Orlando. Like, I don't. He has to me, he has to find a way. And his agencies and stuff, they have to get him out because it's not. I'm telling you, when they gonna make a push for Cade and them to make that All-Star game. Halliburton, maybe not. He'll make the all-defensive team and stuff like that. But I'm telling you, don't be surprised if you hear people running around talking about Garland, Van Fleet, what's that man's name? Cade and Halliburton and them is better. And then you got Kyrie. Well, Kyrie wasn't injured last year. I think Harden was, but like it's not good, bro.
Okay, no. See, Purple Baby, you having a little anxiety because all you got to do is go back to last year this time. Where was LaMelo ranked? Wasn't LaMelo ranked like number 4 or something like that? Number 5?
For under 25?
Yeah.
I think so.
Okay, now how all of a sudden he have this precipitous drop when he made the All-Star team? Got a call by the commissioner himself, you an All-Star in place of Durant. He was the first replacement. So how could that be? So now you know there's an agenda behind these other people because most of these guys are pumping up their agency mate. Listen to me. Most of these guys are pumping up their agency mate. Like their agency got them on the commentator, right? And then the agency got the player out there playing, and then they're pumping up their agency mate. And a lot of these other guys in different agency, they're pumping up their young agency mate because that's what's going to make the business. LaMelo's Rock Nation. I don't know if Rock Nation have anybody in the media, and if they do, cool. If they don't, cool. Everybody knows LaMelo is that young guy that's nipping on the heels of not Ja Morant, but nipping on the heels of Luka. It's going to be a rivalry between Melo and Luka once LaMelo get on a formidable team. I'm telling you that it's going to be that. But if they keep joking around down there in Charlotte, then they could bury him. They could try to bury him. You know what I mean? It could be a Dominique Wilkins. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't even remember the Dominique Wilkins and Michael Jordan debate of who was the best player in the league. You know, that was a debate at one time.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, Dominique Wilkins is playing on the damn Clippers. That killed that debate. But nevertheless, you got young stars. They're good. They need to be promoted. LaMelo is self-promotion. He's a walking billboard. You see how he's pumping out these shoes. The NBA is trying to stay ahead of the curve to make sure that LaMelo do not outgrow the NBA. That's their dying fear, that LaMelo becomes bigger than the logo.
And still though, I don't even know when ESPN is coming out with under 25 list. But it's not shocking that Kendrick, out of all people, took him off that list. Like Rap God just said, Anthony Edwards took his spot. And when I went against somebody and I said, well, Anthony has a better team, the immediate reaction I got was, oh, Cat is soft. I don't care what he is. He is better than any player in the Charlotte Hornets in the front court. Whenever you get finished, I don't care what soft you think he is still better than any player on the front court in Charlotte. So, he can't win for losing. Like, people want him to do more with less. Because a lot of people, I be in a lot of other spaces just chilling, sitting back, and I hate talking about LaMelo on other channels because the first reaction I get is he's overrated. He's a Kardashian. He's this, he's that. They hate him.
Well, they can hate him all they want to. And as far as Anthony Edwards is his own beast, right? Anthony Edwards is his own beast. Anthony Edwards made his own name. He didn't need no help from nobody else. He just went out there and displayed his game. Anthony Edwards is a clutch client. So once he shows his game, they're gonna boost him. That's what I be saying about Rock Nation. I don't know what the fuck is going on. It seems like Puma. I don't know what's going on. I mean, what else you want to do? You got the kid, right? He has the flair. He's like a rock star. Even before he came to the NBA, I told that story about last year or something. Even before he came to the NBA, he had rock star status. Okay, so now the NBA is looking at, okay, he's already here, right? He's made the All-Star. We see everywhere he go, kids want his autographs and things of that nature. They flock to him and things of that. Look how he walks into the room. All eyes on Melo.
But that feeds into my point of when people are saying he's just a social media superstar and he's not that good. And he
No, Purple Baby. No, I can't believe that.
Hey,
I'm telling you, if you
the
frequently
man
go
broke a
on these
record, Purple Baby, that stood for 66 years.
And they don't care about none of that. They still think he's overhyped. They still think Anthony Edwards is better. Some of them got the same nerves to say that Halliburton is better. I'm telling you, and some people even say that Cade is better than him.
hey, Purple Baby, this is
that's preference. I mean, that's preference.
Hey, okay, Purple Baby. Remember, Dex said he just made All-Star this year. That he was just Rookie of the Year last year. Remember that Rookie of the Year like last year, right? Just Rookie of the Year. Okay, we think about that. We go right back to that again. He got 87 votes out of 100 first place votes. Purple Baby. I don't know who you say they is, but god dang it, there ain't nobody be voting for him then, because he on the. If you do the math, listen to me. If you do the math, Anthony Edwards only got 17 first place votes. I'm sorry, Purple Baby, you got like twisted as far as when it comes down to Melo and what people think about him.
I'm telling you,
they recognize these games. These people you listening to don't know nothing about no bet.
Hey, I can tell you that these same people, I don't know about now, but they don't mention this channel by name, but I'm guessing this is the channel they be talking about. When they be like, oh, these LaMelo stands is delusional and stuff like that. When you mention that All-Star game,
nah, that's not this channel.
Talk about that,
I know what channel they're talking about.
Hey, when you
that's more of a gold channel.
When you go and talk about that All-Star game, which I never do because I know better, they'll say, oh, he wasn't even supposed to make it. I forgot who they say it should have went to. I can't think. What's the name? Because Murray made it in, I think, by a coach's vote, I think, right?
What Murray hurt? Was he hurt?
I don't know. No, he couldn't have been. He played.
All right.
No, Murray was in the All-Star game. He was in the All-Star game.
Yeah,
but they don't care about him making. If he didn't make it by fans vote, they say he shouldn't have made it. I can't think who. Okay,
hold on, Purple Baby, slow down. I don't want to put no music on you. Slow down. If LaMelo made the All-Star by commissioner call, and they don't want to count that, where did Anthony Edwards make the All-Star at? Did he get a call or?
His team made the playoffs, and they felt like LaMelo.
We talking All-Star. We ain't talking about playoffs. We talking about All-Star. That's an individual accolade.
Right.
Hey, like I said, they don't think it counts. They don't think it counts until he gets voted. And I think it's the top 3 or whatever, however it works, that guarantees you a spot on the All-Star team outside of the commissioner voting you in.
No, listen to what I'm asking you. They're saying Anthony Edwards is better, right? This is what they're saying. Okay, they're saying that he's ranked higher than LaMelo in the under 25 and all that stuff, right?
Yep.
How do you do that when you're not an All-Star, but the other person is an All-Star?
Because of the team's success. They think, like for instance, literally a day ago, they was talking about these Lakers fans.
Okay, let me give you some critical thinking here. Okay, now we're finna do some critical thinking therapy. Okay, listen, once again, I'm asking you, not what they say, because right now you're lending your brain to what they're saying, and you have a proclivity to attach to that. But listen to this. If I make an All-Star, and I'm the same age as you, or maybe a year younger, and I won Rookie of the Year, and these are consecutive years. There's no gap in the years. You haven't had any solo accolades as of yet. In that third year, how are you better than me? Just by the
Oh my God.
accolades.
Dex,
Individually, not no team success. No, don't take out the team. We
but
talking mono on mono.
but you're missing something. If you would have let me get to it, that first year, they people I don't agree with it,
They, there you
but
go with they.
because
No, I'm talking
no, you
you.
not let. I know you not letting me explain though. I just said I don't agree with the people saying that he shouldn't have won the Rookie of the Year. I think he deserved it, but they were saying he did not deserve it because he got injured, and it should have went to Edwards. He missed too many games and all that other stuff, and he didn't. They didn't feel like his impact because I don't
Purple
think
baby.
Zion got injured in
Purple
his
baby.
first
This is
year.
so
If
easy.
I'm
Let me address it, Jake.
No. I got this. Hold on one second, Marvin. Purple baby, you missing the point, not me. Remember, I said critical thinking, not they thinking. So critical thinking is based with you, how you feel, not how everybody else feel. Now to crush that narrative that LaMelo shouldn't have won Rookie of the Year because he missed too many games. You had the Patrick Ewings. You had a few players that missed a higher rate of games than LaMelo did in his Rookie of the Year campaign. So that right there is washed. But what LaMelo did, nobody else did in 66 years in his rookie year. That can't be. You can't throw that under the bridge like that. That never happened. You got to take that in consideration as well. And he came back. Listen, LaMelo did come back, helped propel this team into a play-in game where Anthony Edwards played the whole year and they didn't even qualify for a play-in game. So all that goes in too. So team fair, I don't know where you're coming from. Now, you also mentioned that they said that Anthony Edwards' team is better, and by them making a playoff, that
no,
makes
I
Anthony.
didn't say. They said Lamelo had the better team because the Terry Rozier, all that other stuff, and Gordon
Everybody know they
Hayward.
didn't have the better team
Oh,
over over Minnesota.
yes.
No, who was their All Stars? Who were Lamelo All Stars in his rookie season? Did he have one? No. Did Anthony Edwards have one? Need to go check. So I don't know about that. I just think a lot of things are being misconstrued because that's their guy. So they try to switch the narrative to Anthony Edwards. Now, Anthony Edwards did go to the playoffs and he did show his ass. So you can't take that from him. That's his individual accolades. I was in the playoffs and I stood my ground. LaMelo has yet to be in the playoffs. He's been in 2 play-in games and he stunk them up both times. We understand that. So if that's what they want to qualify it, that extended season, who did better, then that's a whole nother thing. But as far as a total season, LaMelo do it all. He assists, he rebounds, he steals, he blocks. I mean, what else you want the kid to do?
Yeah, I
Can I
agree.
chime in?
Yes, go
I
ahead.
just I just wanted to say this. Purple, this just sounds like Minnesota fans that you listening to. Obviously, they're gonna want their player to be better than another player, and you come to your own decision on it. You know you can see who the better player. Now going up against Anthony Edwards, that's a tough draw. He's a good player, but that's not the issue. It's not about that. Listen, it's obvious Minnesota has the better team. That's not even a question. But to compare those two, I wouldn't even want to do it. I think they're 2 good young players, and they both gonna get there. Now I believe in the sense where Minnesota is as far as their team is right now, he probably get more shine in the playoffs or whatnot because Melo's team is not really set for a big long playoff run yet. But in due time, Melo's gonna get his. He plays too well not to get it. He's gonna get his. Don't worry about
I agree, Marvin.
it. Yeah, you got a player like that. Just hang on. And then we're gonna go through this. We're gonna go through debates with other, with people saying, "Well, my player is better than your player." People feel like that, but you come to your own conclusion. Is basically what Dex was basically saying. Come to your own conclusion, and make your own judgment, and just leave it alone because
No,
nobody's gonna
and
agree with everybody.
Well,
by the way,
You
it's
know
it's
that.
not Minnesota fans. It's general fans in general that talk about him in that way.
Even with Anthony Edwards, all
Yeah.
his abilities and with all his capabilities and his abilities and everything, I see Melo on a different level than Anthony Edwards. A
And
total
like
different
somebody
level.
in the chat just said, Anthony Edwards went. I didn't watch Minnesota in the playoffs, but as this person said, he dominated in the playoffs and averaged 25 points.
Yeah, he did play well.
LaMelo though got blown out in both of his play-in games and played terrible.
But it's a team game.
That's
I mean,
understandable, but when they feel like he's a Kardashian, which I don't know why they would say that, but that he's a Kardashian, he's really not that good at basketball. Like he can't lose for winning and winning for losing. Like they don't care what he does and what
How are
he
you gonna be an
accomplishes.
all-star and not be that good in basketball? I mean, come on, that's ridiculous.
Because he got it in. I don't know who it was that they should have said. I don't know who
So
it
you
was that
saying
they
he
was
got
like
in
he
on
shouldn't have made
popularity?
I don't know
no,
why
because
he
of
got
that
in. I'm
injury.
not the
Because of that
commissioner.
injury, X. Because of that, one of the players got injured. Remember?
Yeah, we know
Direct.
it's because of an injury, but they said somebody else should have got in. I forgot who the player was, but they was like he shouldn't have even gotten in.
But we
That's
already
us.
know that LaMelo should have got in on votes alone. Listen, let me explain something to you real quick. See, this is where critical thinking comes back in at. If LaMelo can sell shoes the way he's selling shoes, dropping damn near two shoes a month, and they sell out, and they're selling for high dollar on the black market, you don't think the people that's buying his shoes won't click to see him play in an All-Star game?
I didn't say that they wouldn't.
Purple
Okay.
baby, you're not
That's
listen, Purple
not the
baby.
that's
You're being
not the
defensive.
issue.
Purple baby, you're being defensive. You're not hearing me out. I'm not challenging you. I'm challenging them. I'm trying to show you that there's no way that LaMelo should not even been part of the top 10. That's what I'm saying. If you and the All-Star is free and you can click as many times as you want. And you telling me that he can sell out thousands and tens of thousands of shoes, and you can click an All-Star ballot as many times you want every day, he could make top 10? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
It's not to you,
that
Purple baby.
argument.
It's to them.
Yeah, I mean that's not an argument. I mean, you got people that's just gonna disagree. Nobody likes everybody, so that's just how it is.
Yep.
But just let this acclimation, just let him keep doing what he's doing, and his players speak for everything that they talking about.
Oh yeah.
They got to get a team around him. That's what they. You got to get a team around him.
That ain't gonna happen.
But sometime on the big stage, it does lift your name. I mean, a lot of times on the big stage, it lifts your name. You play well on the big stage, you get notoriety. Just so happened Charlotte hadn't had a team that's up and coming and such. Minnesota ain't did much. Went to the damn first round. Let's see what they do this year coming
And
up.
they talking
I'm not
about
saying
the same team making the playoffs though, not the play-in, the playoffs.
yeah. I mean, how far you got Minnesota going?
First round exit. I think they're a regular season team.
Well, you're doing the right thing by not saying nothing. Just wait till the playoff. Then when it's over, then you get on the pound and tell them. Now what you got to say?
Oh, I'm telling you, I'm not going there because even with the loss, like he lost last year, that don't defeat the purpose of them saying that he's better.
Yeah.
Man, LaMelo was banging against
argument like
LaMelo was banging against the Jordan legacy.
Yeah, I agree.
No, L, hold on one second. I just saw something. Hold on. Let me put this up here. See? We got somebody want to be a goofy. See, here we go. Nobody that heard me state what I stated got the understanding that LL got. Dex saying that LaMelo should be in the All-Star game because he sells shoes. Okay. Now who understood that? I mean, really. You see how people take your words, misconstrue them, and then throw them out like if it's just truth? I didn't never say nothing like that, bro. I said if
Okay.
This the indicative word. If LaMelo can sell shoes the way he sells shoes, the people that buy his shoes, you telling me they don't click the All-Star ballot when the All-Star ballot is free? They don't charge you to click the All-Star ballot, and you can click as many times as you want in a given period.
Right.
And if he's selling out shoes the way he's selling shoes and the way he's dropping shoes, you don't think those people will engage to see LaMelo playing the All-Star? Come on, LL, don't do that to me, bro. Cause I don't come up here goofing around. Now, if you don't like LaMelo, cool. You don't have to like LaMelo. But don't try to use me as a soundboard to make me think that I'm crazy. Nobody understood it the way you understood it. So I think you need a cavity check. And the cavity that I'm talking about is your brain.
Damn it, Dex.
Hey, okay, Dex. So you said that selling shoes don't coincide with being on the All-Star team, because I could find both of them to be the same. If you selling more shoes than everybody else, that goes popularity. Being on the All-Star team ain't double popularity. I think popularity is what it is. Like you said, the little cake
No,
business.
they go by
They was out
numbers.
there.
They go by numbers. But they go by numbers.
Who is they? Who the hell is they? In the
The
All-Star game.
voters. Are you? Hold on. The vote. Wait a minute. The voters. Are you one of them?
Yeah.
Well, what did you go by
I'm
then?
one of the voters. I'm one of the voters.
To a certain extent, I go by my favoritism to the player. That's that's the popularity of my favoritism to him. If I like him, then I vote for them. Last time I voted for the All-Star thing was for Lonzo. That was the last time, and that was last year. I didn't do it this season yet because they came about, but that was last season when I did that. So yeah, and I did that 3 times over the phone.
I
Yeah.
just need y'all to look at the scope. I'm not disagreeing with nobody saying it. I agree. But I'm just saying, everybody else sells shoes. Everybody else is popular like he is. Which I think he can do. It ain't that I don't think he can do it. I believe he can do it, but he has to win and get his points.
Purple.
You
I
can do
think
that.
that's a small. I think that's more of a small majority of people, because most of the people that I speak to speak highly of LaMelo.
Now I heard that you be on. Well, I've seen you on other panels. I want you. But I would rather the panel bring it up. But I watch like other channels. I ain't gonna mention the other channels, but this specific channel I seen you on, and they didn't talk about LaMelo that day. But go and ask them how they feel about him. I'm telling you, what I just got done saying about him, they're going to say about him. Now you'll have some people that'll be like, "Oh, he's a good player. He's solid, but he's not a winning player. He's not the number one option. He's none of that." I'm trying to tell you, bro. They hate him, bro.
Yeah, I can understand what you're saying, but think of this, Purple Baby. There's not too many fans out there that's gonna like anybody but the players. Most of the time, the players on their own team. I mention it all the time about at the end of the year, only one team is gonna be one team is gonna be happy, one city is gonna be happy. That can go a long way if you think about it. That's why we can decrete so many players, because at the end of the year, it's only one team that win it. So if you want to decrete the team properly, every other 29 teams in the NBA needs to be on the chopping board, because none of them won it but one. Only one. Even every 29 other coach, if that's the case, they all should be on the chopping board, because
I
we
agree.
all want to win it. Every
Yeah.
last one of us as fans, our teams, we want to win it. And as well as I spoke to a guy today who was talking about Boston this and Boston that, and my final question to him was, were you happy that Boston lost? No. So that means your journey is not over either. Even though if you get to the finals and you lose, it still sucks. The only city was Golden Golden State team was the only ones, and the fans of Golden State, and then some other people who not typically NBA fans don't give a damn. They're, oh man, Golden State won it. But true NBA fans, true to their team, I wasn't happy the Bulls didn't win it. Brooklyn fans weren't happy if they didn't win it. Charlotte fans weren't happy if they didn't win it. LA, ask Dex, he ain't happy his Lakers didn't win it. But we have to deal with that and go to the next year. But as far as far as I just don't take a lot of merit in anybody who just downgrades a player when I can see potential in him, and it's some of the things they're saying about him are not true. I just blow it off and say, okay, well, if that's what you think, that's fine. And then hopefully your player can come in and show them different. Then if you want to tell them something, you come on the panel and tell them. I didn't never say anything to you about it, but what about him now? And they still gonna have things to say, even if he win the championship. You still got people out there still talking about Steph Curry. He just won the championship. A lot of people hate him. I can't stand him. He shoot too many threes, but he won the championship. So that's just how it is,
That's a stupid complaint though. Like I don't get that with Curry.
I mean,
Like
but
that's just
yeah,
something he just
but
started doing.
yeah, but I'm saying this to say that's just how us as fans are. If it's not your team, you don't give a damn about them. It's people have the debate on LeBron and Jordan because Jordan beat a lot of the teams that they were fans of. So they don't say Jordan was the best. And they don't say LeBron's the best because LeBron beat a lot of teams that they go for. It's
They
just
ain't
a
based
sentiment
you
that we
like
have.
nobody.
It's just a sentiment that we have as fans. I try not to be so biased about my Bulls, but I cut for my Bulls, and I'm gonna defend them to the core as well as you gonna defend Melo. But I ain't gonna worry about nobody who fight me tooth and nail to say Zach Levine ain't better than uh, Jimmy Butler or something like that. I mean, because the comparisons are just so close, and then the only thing you can go on is by winning basketball championships and things of that nature, as Dex would say. But I just look at it as a blowover from fans, And I understand what you're saying. It's more than just one person. It's a lot of people. It's a lot of fans. They ain't all Minnesota fans. Hey, some people don't like players. I mean, it's a lot of people out there don't like LeBron. A lot of people don't like Jimmy Butler. A whole bunch of them don't like DeMar DeRozan. I mean, a shitload of them don't like DeRozan. You got a bunch of them that say Joker shouldn't have won the MVP.
Hey, Marvin. I'm gonna tell you something. That's a real close comparison. I don't know. I'm trying to figure that one out. Who the best between DeRozan and Butler. But I'm gonna tell you though, I like Butler's hard, and I like DeRozan hard. Man, you can't go wrong with neither one of them, Marvin.
Well, when you look at that, you got to go from the age standpoint on it. Butler's probably got a little more left in the tank than DeRozan, but DeRozan keeps his body in shape. He's been a warrior playing every year,
Yeah.
but he still has to get over that last hurdle of winning in the playoffs. He has
Right.
to do it. He has to do it.
Right.
He's on the right team. He's on the right team because a lot of times when he was on Toronto, people say they did have real good teams, but they didn't have enough firepower. They
Hey,
needed a
Marvin.
little.
Hey, Marvin, I ask you this question. Okay. The question the fight had up there. Who got the most? You know, what I'm saying the not game from this right here. Who got the really
Most pressure.
most pressure on within the Bulls organization as far as the players go. Whom would you say that? I said it's the whole goddamn team all the way down to the
And you know what? It's so ironic you said that because
yeah.
that's what my base answer was. But I said it would because I based it on the team itself because one hand feeds the other.
Right.
When you get help from one side, then you don't have as much pressure on your own side. So
Right.
one hand feeds the other. And in the Bulls case, it's a prime example of that because of, if they're getting contributions everywhere, then you don't have to exert yourself so much. You don't have to have that loaded pressure on your shoulders. But,
Yeah.
it can fall from DeMar to, because Sky came on, had a valid point, said with Lonzo being injured, the pressure should be on him. And then I can understand people saying Zach Levine signed this contract, the pressure should be on him. Then I can understand people saying DeMar DeRozan had a hell of a season. He needs to duplicate it. The pressure should be on him. I said all of the teammates, all of the team members, but the main one to me was Billy Donovan. I believe he got more pressure than anybody because he's got to make this team go somewhere. Players playing well, or playing good or bad or not. Just like me and Dex had talked about it earlier. He didn't make the necessary adjustments when he lost the players we lost
Yeah, I'm
last
familiar
year.
with Marcus Dupree, Heisman
So
Trophy winner.
you gotta make the adjustments. That's what made the great coaches they are, including from Phil Jackson to Pat Riley to Popovich. They adjust on the fly, and Steve Kerr did it
Thank you,
too.
Oklahoma Sooners.
So I mean it's a combination of things. But I think if you keep it at a minimum and spread the pressure around, it makes the overall team a lot better. Just like now, the pressure is not so much on Io DeSumo if we can keep Lonzo healthy. And even in that case, with Dragic being on the team, with Gordon being on the team, it takes pressure off of Io. Io had a lot of pressure on him last year and didn't show it much. He kind of showed it in the middle of the season when he hit that rookie wall, but he still came back. Considering him playing 20 some odd minutes a game last year as a rookie was an accomplishment in itself. So now we go to the dilemma of his contract is coming up, and are we going to keep him, Kobe, or Caruso? We got a question on our hands now.
Right. Yeah. It's a lot. It's a lot going on there. I just want to address this one real quick. Dex, you ever watched the Marcus Dupree story? The man was man against kids in high school. Yeah, but you had a whole lot of those guys down there. I think Marcus Dupree out of Texas, if I'm not mistaken. I think he went to Oklahoma Sooners, Heisman Trophy winner, got drafted by the Rams, and he fizzed out. But back in that time, you had George Rogers, you had what's that other kid? Oh my God, Herschel Walker. You know, you had a lot of those boys that was just men amongst kids, you know what I mean, in high school and things of that nature. Even to some degree, Eric Dickerson, you know. But yeah, I'm very familiar with Marcus Dupree. I appreciate his game. I love him as a Sooner. And when he came to the Rams, I don't know, it just wasn't there. Maybe he played his best football in college, Basil. Yes, sir. Salute to you, Basil.
Yeah, and I want to address Larry James in the chat. I don't know if he feels like we downgrading on Anthony Edwards. Just to let you know, we're not. We know he's a damn good player, but if you want to compare him to a player like Melo, I don't even think it's fair. There's no comparison really. They're on two different teams.
Oh, Mississippi. Okay.
You know, now if you thinking one should have got more acclimates than the other, then that's something different. But they both will get their due diligence, man. They both are great. They're going to be great players in this league for a long time.
For a long time.
So let's just appreciate both of them, having them in the league instead of fighting between them.
Oh, yeah.
Because I can tell you this, whichever team you own, or you like Purple Baby or Larry in the chat, if you had either one of them on your team, you'd be satisfied. If you had them both, you'd be fucking glorified. So hubble bubble. I mean, really. I mean, I say that to say this. We talk about players all the time, guys. We talk about this player. We talk about LeBron James. We talk about DeMar DeRozan. But most of those top players that we talk about, us as fans, we wouldn't mind them on our own damn team if they were on our team.
Yeah.
We just talk about them because we don't have them on our team. You know?
I don't have a team. I just like a particular group of players.
Well, you can go either way. See, if you don't have a team, see that means you can jump off. That means you can jump in and jump out. That means you can jump in and jump out.
Yeah, I'm familiar with him. Play with the so did Herschel Walker played in the USFL. Yeah, a few players did. Steve Young, a lot of them played over there in the USFL. I think Warren Moon. What's the boy Jim Kelly from Buffalo? Yeah, there was a troll of USFL players that had an onslaught on the NFL based on those contracts they was given, and they end up going bankrupt over in the USFL.
And in no way am I saying, it's not that I care what the haters say. That's beyond the point. I can sense the room when I mention particular things, and I just want people's viewpoint on him. And if the viewpoint is negative, then I no longer mention it. I just go the other way. Because I mess with some people pretty heavy, and they swear up and down that I'm a Charlotte Hornets fan. And like I tell them, I said, first of all, my favorite player ever is Derrick Rose. That's first of all. But I like LaMelo. I like his game. I like the potential in what I see in his game. I'm not so much of a fan of Anthony Edwards. I just want the critiques to be fair, because Anthony Edwards, I think, had a game where he shot 40 times or something like that and got like 30-something points. There was no criticism there, but LaMelo shot the ball 37 times, and it's over. He better have at least 27 points. Equal out the criticism, even with the Zach Levine versus Devin Booker situation. have it be fair. Like, understand that both guys were the best players on their teams at the time. Yes, Levine managed to be more efficient than him, but I still think that Booker was the better player. But you got people, I keep it fair. There's no hating in my commentary at all.
Yeah. And see, if I was like that fan that you're talking about, I'd be hollering at you because I think Zach is better. But it's not like
Right.
that. It ain't about that.
And I respect that. And I understand Zach has his injuries. I'm not going to hit below the belt. And Chicago is downright terrible prior to them getting the Rose.
Now, wait a minute. Hold on. Oh, okay. You said
yes,
Hey,
thank you.
Yeah, you got that's right, Marvin. You better back up because she cleaned it up.
hey,
Okay, so you know I was just going to jump in there.
hey, Purple Baby, I agree with you. I think Booker is better than Zach Levine. Thank you, Purple Baby.
And it's just
And
like
ain't nothing wrong with that.
Like, another dysfunction I had was Brandon Ingram. If you understand, and I love Kobe Bryant. I love Kobe Bryant. Fan of him. But it was like, if you understand that Kobe is ball dominant, I ain't gonna use no cuss words, but that he's ball dominant. Why are you, Simmons is a better player. Simmons is a better player. And I said, it's people that sit there and, yes, Ben Simmons. Simmons was
better than Kobe?
No, Ingram.
Oh, okay.
Ingram. And they, like, I mentioned it. I was sitting on the panel and I mentioned it. Oh, they never was compared. I said, yes, they was compared. I remember that draft like it happened yesterday. They was compared, and everybody, wanted Simmons, and I hardly heard negative commentary on him. And even to this day, people don't want to give Ingram his just due. I'm not saying he's better than Simmons right now, but give the man his just due for improving every year, building upon his deficiencies within his game. They still want to, I don't know.
Purple Baby, I have to slow you down. You saying Brandon Ingram might not be better than Ben Simmons?
Ben Simmons?
Yes. They don't think
Brandon Ingram's head and shoulders above Ben Simmons. Trust.
Ben Simmons. Way better than him.
Listen, best size I'm telling you. Hey, they think Tatum is better than him. What's that man's Tatum's teammate? Brown.
Now those are two. Wait a minute. Let me stop you. Those are two better comparisons. I say that.
And I agree. But any small forward but Ingram, I'm convinced at this point that some people might take Derozan over Ingram.
Yeah. Well, if you look at the numbers, and a lot of people don't like to go by numbers. You look at the numbers, and like I said earlier today, a lot of people say, well, I don't believe in numbers. Well, numbers is what gets you paid in the NBA. They don't pay you because you got your hair braided. They pay you what the numbers you put up.
Hold on, Marvin. That's circumstantial. That's definitely circumstantial. Numbers get you paid in the NBA. That's circumstantial.
Yeah, and just the Rose is shooting at a 50% clip. I'm telling you, he gonna get paid, young man.
Well, here's a prime example here's a prime example how numbers pay you. If you make the all NBA team, you get paid, don't you?
Yep.
All right then. Numbers get you paid. If you make the all-star team, you get paid. If you make the finals, you get paid. And the numbers don't really get you to the finals, but those are
okay. But there's players that got paid that didn't do all that. That's all I'm saying.
I know that. I mean, some players just get the contract due to who they are, and that's understandable. But if you coming in the league, just like when LeBron came in, or if you drafted, when they sign you to your first contract, it is based on what you can do on the court. Not because you had on a great shirt coming through the door, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, facts. Facts. And I agree with what you just said, but I'm telling you the reality, like I'm into anybody's opinion as long as it's not delusional as hell. But I'll be listening, I'm like, like Brandon Ingram can't catch no break. He get it bad.
Well, see, and kudos to him. He never says nothing. He just carries on. He just, let let us play on the floor, dictate what anybody want to say.
Yep.
Brandon,
Speaking of Brandon Ingram, shout out Jessica. Shout out to Jessica. Speaking of Brandon Ingram,
shout out Jess.
Yeah,
That's a good
they
one,
call
Morris.
one of the funniest
Yeah, he
names
can barely keep his eyes open, right?
one of the funniest names I ever heard. They was like, "Oh, he's the Walmart version of KD," and I was like, "So what is Kevin
What?
Durant? What store is Kevin Durant? Because y'all know Sam's Club is owned by I was gonna say McDonald's. Sam's Club is owned by Walmart, so is KD Sam's Club? Like, what that's supposed to mean?"
You know what?
Well, they always
Perfect.
compared them to when Brandon Ingram came into the league. He was stickly, tall, slender, and was able to do many things with the ball. Pause. So they thought he was going to be like next KD because it seemed like his game was ascending towards that, and so that's why the Lakers started experimenting with him, putting him on the ball, having him do a lot of different things. And when LeBron came, of course, all that came to a halt. And now Brandon Ingram is ascending to a really, really terrific basketball player. And you got to put the onus on Brandon Ingram dedicating his journey to greatness. And sometimes when you dedicate your journey to greatness, like a Brandon Ingram, you're going to have some foes. Some foes is going to be a part of that journey. And I just think that those who are chirping against Brandon Ingram is those foes that's a part of Brandon Ingram journey to greatness, because you're gonna move some players the wrong way. You're gonna move some coaches the wrong way, just like Kobe and everybody else on their road to greatness. But you have to get that championship. If you're gonna be that type of player, be myopic, you know what I'm saying, be a Cyclops, you're gonna have to definitely get that ring. Because if you don't validate all that it takes to be great. You follow what I'm saying? I wanted to use a word, but I changed my mind. I'm not gonna use that word. But I'm just keep it simple. If you want to validate your greatness in that journey, you got to get a ring at the end of the day, because there's going to be a lot of fall off from friends, family, and foes, right? Players as well. When you have that type of tunnel vision, when you want to be on your road to greatness, that's why a ring have to accompany you as a player, so it'll justify all the madness that went with that journey to greatness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Basil said something to you, Dex.
Yeah, and while he's reading that, I just want to say, Purple Wavy, think back to the players who didn't win a chip, who was decent players, from Karl Malone or Charles Barkley. It goes on and on and on. Were those players no good just because they didn't win a championship? Us as fans, we base it on they wasn't worth a damn. How many rings they got? Well, sometimes in the NBA, it is all about rings. But sometimes you just, it's tough winning that ring, man. I mean, like I mentioned this earlier one time, I think on this panel here before a couple of days ago, we all whirl and all crazy about Giannis. You know how long Giannis been in the league and how many rings he got? He got one. And it took him hell over high water to get it. And he didn't get it in his back-to-back year because they lost this past season. So his journey is not over either. But I'm just saying, I'm not saying he's not a bad player. So please, guys, don't think I'm saying that. What I'm saying is it's tough to win the ring. It's tough to win the championship.
right?
The best players in this league have not won a championship. Some of the best players.
And Marvin, that goes with what you're saying. I agree with you there, because it goes with what you said, like the will of the player. Giannis willed himself into doing that. He willed himself into being in enough shape, being in the right position to be able to get those things done. That's the will of the player, man. A lot of players in the NBA really aren't able to a certain extent to do that. They have placed themselves, they put themselves in position like KD did. Like he put himself in position. But then once he get that chance and opportunity, man, he takes full advantage of it. But it's like Michael Jordan did. Michael Jordan got a lot of them pieces around him too. A lot of people think that Michael Jordan just had just brought up a little weakness, but He forged that. He formed that team around him like that. Even when Horace Grant left, he formed. He made sure he got somebody up in that position that was going to be able to hold it down. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? That's just going on. That's popularity. Today numbers was just around the game in the game to be able to do such, man. My hat is off to all of them could do that. I love the NBA the way it is now.
yeah.
The,
And you know what, Purple Baby, I just wanted to give you these numbers because I just happened, since you were talking about something, I wanted to bring it up just to show you why people probably giving you them flack on Melo or not. I'm looking at both of their stats, and they both in this they're going into their third year. And Melo in his rookie year, he averaged 15.7, and in Edwards' rookie year, he averaged 19.3. This previous season, Melo averaged 20 points, 20.1, and Edwards averaged 21.3. So by the numbers, people would think Edwards is better. He had a better rookie year at 19. He averaged 19 points a game, and then he averaged 1 point more than Melo this year. But it's not really about that. It's the effect that they have on their team. You can look at Edwards in one way and say they got to the playoffs. So he played well in the playoffs. You can look at Melo in a way and say he took a team to the play-in that really had nothing around him, and you can give him higher grace. So that's a tough one with them both being young, 2 years, and they highly, coming up in this league. I wouldn't argue a fact with anybody about those two players. I wouldn't even want to compare them. I would love to have them both on my damn team. Let me say that. But
Marvin,
yeah,
that 19 points a game as a rookie, that's a little miscued because they was allowing Anthony Edwards to run rampant. They
I
wasn't even
know,
thinking about
I know, I
okay.
know.
So
Yeah,
you
yeah,
got to add that in there as well. Lamelo
I,
was never ever
yeah. They was
allowed
actually
to run
holding him
rampant.
back. Yeah, they was holding him back.
So
yeah,
yeah, that's why that number went up, especially once Lamelo got hurt. Anthony Edwards went on a wild scoring spree. I mean, he was just like getting buckets after buckets, but they wasn't winning anything. So they was just letting the young man go. And I
Well,
credit that
I,
to Big Cat because Big Cat was not even tripping. He was
yeah,
like, okay, do your thing.
but you know what? I didn't mention the other parts of their game, which is Melo averaged 6.4 rebounds and 7 assists, while Anthony only averaged 4.7 rebounds and 3 assists. If you equate that into the equation, then who's the better overall player? Well, it's easy to see. If you dishing out almost 8 assists, that can compute to 18 points, extra points. When in turn, Edwards is only dishing out 3.8, which only equates to what, 6 or 9 points. So you can look at it in so many ways. And then, like
Right.
I say,
But only way that I'm looking at it is like this. Excuse me. The only way that I'm looking at it is that Anthony Edwards, especially when D'Lo went down. Remember, D'Lo was down for a long, long time. He was able to ascend to be the number two guy up under Big Cat. You follow what I'm saying? And he did his job. His
yeah,
shooting percentage was pretty, low. You know what I mean? It was, He didn't have a great shooting percentage, even though he was chunking up a lot of shots. And teams teams wasn't really like playing them that tough because they thought playing Minnesota with that group was a bye. And that's why they snuck and won a few and they got blew out a whole lot. And during the blowout, Ant-Man just was putting up the shots and getting the dunks and things of that nature. And the coach had no problem with it. But if LaMelo went outside his offense, oh, his ass is going to the bench. You
yeah.
need a reset, young man.
And if you look at field goal percentage, Edwards shot 44% from the field this year, and Melo shot 42. But in the rookie years, Melo shot 43% and Edwards shot 41. So it's about a wash. And if you look at the field goal percentage career wise, Melo is shooting at a 43% clip, while Edwards is shooting at a 42.9. They right neck and neck. So I mean, in I guess 3-point percentage can come in. Melo's shooting at 37 and he's shooting at 34. So it's so many ways to look at it. You got Melo doing better things in certain areas. And so to me, it's a wash to me because they're two great young players. It's hard to compare the two. It really is.
and
Yeah,
they rules are different. What they asked to do for their team is different.
Oh
right.
yeah, what they roles on their team is, I mean, are it's totally different. You look at Charlotte, what direction are they going in? You look at Minnesota, yeah, they made a big trade. They trying to do something. You know, who has the most pressure? I believe, and truthfully, in a sense, Melo plays free and easy. It's just how he is. I think in playoff predictions now that could grind you into being a better player later in your career too. You get more playoff games, you get more tougher, and you learn how to play the game a little. In tight situations, in pressure situations, you can get a little better. But who's to say what Minnesota's going to do this year? I don't know what we think Charlotte's going to do either, though. But who's to say?
Yeah. Yeah, but with me, like I was gonna say, I wanted to say too, I think that Melo is a better playmaker, and he's also a better scorer than Anthony Edwards. And not only just that, I think he's an all-around better player also
Yeah.
because of his IQ towards the game. Anthony Edwards ain't got the kind of IQ the Melo got towards the game. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Oh
Game.
no, his IQ. Now, come on, we don't even want to talk about the IQ. And what's so remarkable about these two players, guys, is they are ascending, both of them, each year. They only been in the league 2 years, but they both are. They listen to these numbers. Anthony Edwards shot the ball 17 times a game. Melo 16. Melo's rookie year, he shot from 35%. Edwards in his rookie year, he shot 32%. This year, Edwards shoots 35. This year, Melo shoots 38. They both just rising. Picture these guys in 4 to 5 years in the league, man. These
Right.
guys gonna be something special, man. I'm telling you, dude. They're gonna be something special, both of them.
I agree.
But I was bringing this up for Purple Baby just to let her know. Don't let anything like that get you. I know it doesn't get you
So
out
it
of hand. Yeah,
doesn't
I know it doesn't. But I'm just saying. But when you just go by the numbers, plus you put your eye test on it yourself, you can just come to your own conclusion.
it don't bother me. It's just I don't know. I just want them to give him a fair critique. I don't feel like he gets it that often. People just look at the team success and what's around them. Like it's more. It's stuff that we've talked about on this podcast before with that team specifically. That I just be looking. I'm like, how can people say that Terry Rozier is this compared to like he's a great player. I think he's an awesome player, just not for Charlotte. Like I don't hate Gordon Hayward. I think he can be productive on a playoff team, but it's just like they look and I'm like, it's nothing. They go in, bro. Like they be going to Kelly Oubre, talking about, well, Kelly ain't that bad. The same Kelly that everybody was dog walking when he was in Golden State ain't that bad because he on Charlotte. Be
Yeah.
the critique of all players, no matter what team they on, the same, and what's on their team the same.
You know what else, Purple Baby? And this is so crazy that you having this debate with these people because I'm looking at these guys. Listen to this guy. Their birth dates. Melo's birthday is 8/22/2001. Anthony Edwards' birthday is 8/5/2001. They both 21 years old.
Shout out
And
to
I
them
got a question. If any one of you guys know, what number in the draft did Edwards come out?
first.
Okay.
He was the number one pick?
Yep.
Yeah, because Melo. No. Edward, what's the name? What's the name? The one that went to Golden State was number one. Did they Golden State have
No,
him?
no. Edwards number 1, Wiseman number 2, Melo number 3.
All right, thanks,
Okay.
Dad.
Because the reason I'm asking is because they don't have Edwards picked by his name, but they do have Melo's at number 3. And I don't know why they don't have Edwards there if he was the number 1 pick. But you can look at the only thing to me is if you're an executive or a scout in the NBA, you look at one thing that probably makes you buck your eyes a little bit. Edwards is 6'4", 225 pounds.
Yeah, he played football.
When LaMelo is 6'7", 180. When you think about the NBA, they look at that body and they say, wow, 21-year-old, 225-pound kid who can play. But then when you see the talent that Melo has, you forget all about that shit.
Yeah,
So
Yeah, he was a football player though. That's not surprising that he had that kind
yeah,
of size.
yeah. But I'm just saying, when you look at that as a scout, you can look at that in both ways, because
Yeah.
LeBron was kind of wiry when he first came out. He put on a lot of weight. But then with Edward being this young and heavy at 225, a lot of people look at him and say he's durable.
I
He
don't
can
think
last.
LeBron was that wiry.
Well,
Yeah,
I think he had a man's body
he wasn't
coming out of high
225.
school.
I was
He
at
wasn't 225.
The thing about I agree with you with LeBron because LeBron was big boned. Same way when he got doing the adulthood,
But
he
he
started being
wasn't
big boned. He was
225. He
big.
was
That was
not
like that.
225. He wasn't
Yeah,
225 at
yeah.
21.
That was like that too. See, that was he two something, but he ain't. That's muscle. That ain't fat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Yeah,
like Purple Baby say, he played football.
yeah. And athletic, he athletic as hell.
But hey, who's to say anything about that? Durant don't weigh number about 13 fucking pounds. He's one of the best players in the league. Now, I can say
yeah,
that ain't good for Chet Holmgren because
yeah,
I shout out to Chet Holmgren. I sure hate that happened to that kid.
yep, me too.
We had been talking about his frame, and even if he could put some weight on that frame,
But
yeah.
can I ask you something? Do you think he could get away with it if he just becomes more skillful? Because Kevin Durant,
Who? Who?
if he could
No,
get,
no, he's got to put on some weight. He's too
oh,
small.
that
Yeah, he gonna have to. He
He's
gonna have
too small.
to anyway.
Which is why if I was a general manager, I wouldn't have taken it because here's the deal with him. You can look at Porzingis, you can look at Sean Bradley, you can look at the wiry, tall guys that have been in this league, and you can almost look at them by eye test and say, damn, can they put some weight and muscle on that frame? Chet Holmgren never really looked like he was going to be able to do this. I mean, a prime example of it, I mean, it's not quite exact to it, is one of the young guys on the Bulls, Simonovic. He was a 6'10" or 6'11", almost 7 feet, but he was kind of light in the ass. He wasn't super light, but he needed to put on some bulk. But when I first seen him, I knew his body would accept it. And I got a question to everybody on the panel. Did you guys think Chet could put on 25 pounds of muscle on that frame?
Yeah, easily. Just back
I
then.
don't even. What about Dex? Did you see him putting on 25 pounds of muscle?
I think
on
anybody can gain weight. You know what I mean? Because they got nutritionists and things of that nature that's professional into putting weight on athletes. So yeah,
But it's also
they could
about
do something with them.
metabolism also.
Yeah, but look, all right. When you put on that weight,
They got stuff to slow down your metabolism.
So you figure that would have strengthened his feet? That would have strengthened his ankle? He wouldn't have had this stress factor in his foot? You figure if he put on more weight?
I think because he ain't working out.
That's a whole different scenario.
That's right.
What happened up him at that Seattle Pro-Am, which is devastating. I'm glad nobody's not knocking Pro-Am because that's what I thought everybody called. See, that's why you don't play at the Pro-Am. That's why you don't do this. But
they did a little
Hey, okay, this is what I wanted to say, Marvin.
They did a little of it, Dex. They didn't cry much, but they did a little. Go ahead.
Yeah, they did a little, but you can't cry because these players are playing somewhere. Whether it's a Pro-Am, whether it's a secret run, whether it's overseas, they're playing somewhere. They're not just sitting idle unless they're recovering from injury. So you can't cry that. That's just the chances that you take when you roll the dice with your high draft pick. You want him playing. You do not want him being stagnated. But at the same time, Chet has to understand that let that layup go. And LeBron came in wild. I mean, he was going to miss the shot anyway. Yeah. I don't know why he challenged it the way he challenged it. I keep looking at it over and over again like, dude, really?
No, but that's just
let that go.
Dex, that's just their competitive nature. You know that.
No, listen. He saw LeBron coming, right? LeBron turned his back and threw up some wild shot. You just back off of it. She's still trying to challenge the shot while LeBron was in some awkward motion. Like, dude,
yeah, but it wasn't like LeBron put any of his weight pressure on him. He did that just by a step back, and it just caused that injury.
I know, but what I'm saying is that he was engaged in that play a little too long. It's only a Pro-Am. Get off the play and go back. You know what I mean? That's the only thing that I trip off of. I know I hate that it happened too, but Only thing I can say is good for Russell Westbrook. Now they got a slot for him over in OKC.
Oh, damn. Boy, I
Hey,
tell you today, you just any damn reason you can get this done, you gonna do it, aren't you? Jesus
Well,
hey,
they
Christ.
need somebody to sell tickets now.
hey, can I get back to the original question because I wanted to answer
Go,
that question that
go
you
ahead.
had asked about
Go
that
ahead.
young guy?
Go ahead.
God dang it, Marvin. Yeah, I wanted to answer that question. Now Dex want to go ahead and talk about pro-am golfing and everything. What are you doing, Dex? Come,
Go ahead,
come.
Uncle
Trying to
Vern.
muster up enough,
Thank you, Dex.
some strength to
Yeah,
hang on this string.
yeah, thank you. And like, well, Bob, this is the point. I like that young boy Hogan, man. He got a good game. He got a good mindset towards the game too. He's gonna be all right. He just got to get his body right. I'm telling you. Look, this is my point here about Hogan. I've seen Giannis when he came in. Giannis stood up there. That boy was so skinny. He looked like a pole. He stood
That's
up
right.
when he go shake. He stood up there and went to go shake the commissioner's hand. That boy sitting up there, man, tall as big, and them big old hands. I'm telling you, it ain't nothing to put some weight on. Take that from an old man. I used to be old and fat, but I ain't old and fat no more. I'm just skinny and in well good shape. I'm telling you, he can do it, Marvin. That young man gonna be real good. There ain't gonna be nothing to put no muscle on. He learning this lesson, and he got a long ways to go. That young man got skills, Marvin. He got real good
Oh,
skills,
I
Marvin.
agree. I mean, I was just asking a question to see if anybody else felt like was it a problem. I mean, guys, listen. Tippett said you should have sat down this whole time, just like Dex said.
Your
If
mic,
it's not
your
in
mic.
front, yeah. Well, I got a damn ad this plan because I'm bringing up something. So hang on one second. Yeah, I had an ad. Can you hear me now, Dex?
Yeah,
Yeah,
good.
Yeah. I mean, we all, when he first came out, one of the first things that I think all of us said, "Damn, this kid is skinny," you know. And then in the NBA, they got bullies. They got big boys out there, and LeBron is one of them. He might not look like big on when we watching him on TV, but that's a big old dude. And
yeah. I seen him in person. LeBron is definitely big with robot shoulders.
yeah, he's muscle bound. These guys are huge, man. And the stamina and just playing that game, these guys play it like it's nothing. And we sit on our couch talking about how in the hell he missed that layup when we wouldn't have hit it 50 times out of 50 ourselves. But I mean, I just hate it for the kid, man. I think he had a bright. Well, and this shouldn't hold. I mean, I hate the fact that he's got to even sit out. It's we talk about him as more important than we do about some of the other guys young kids who got hurt so far, from EJ Liddell to the young kid on the Bulls also. But he was a project who was a high draft pick. So I was reading something too, Dex. I don't know if you got this. Oklahoma City's trying to put out they was going to get paid. Damn, what is it called? I forgot what they called. It's some kind of insurance policy on him where they can actually bring in another player to fill his spot on the roster, and it won't affect their cap, and that's pretty cool. So I guess he signed some kind of incentive in his contract, even if he was injured, that he'd still get paid, which is good. So at least he gets by on that. But speaking
Well,
of that, I was thinking, I was speaking to somebody else earlier, and we were talking about players not playing the full seasons and this and that. I had a question to all of you guys. How many guys out of all 30 teams, how many guys how many guys in the NBA in totality, how many guys you think played 82 games this past season out of all 30 teams? A
that-
combination.
that's hard to say. I can't.
Just give a roundabout guess.
I would say nobody.
Dex, what you think? He didn't went to sleep. Purple baby, you still there? Okay, if they gone.
Well, I
It
said
was four,
five. My mic was muted. I said five.
and it was only five out of the entire league. Kevin Looney, Denny Aguila, Sadiq Bey, Dwight Powell, and Mikal Bridges. Now remember, when I say these guys, none of them are starters.
No,
Not one. None of them.
right. And they
Which
wasn't playing solid minutes. I agree. I
That's
agree.
right. That's right. Which lets you know it's hard to play freaking 82 games in NBA, man.
Right.
You know. and not necessarily even hard. It's the same thing I think Flight and Dex was saying earlier on this show. Demar needed to take some games off last year, just not from being hurt, just to rest up.
Right. Keep from getting
You know,
hurt.
yeah, to keep from getting hurt. You know, so man, it's you got to really look at that. So that's why I go and I brought that up because I was in a real deep debate. Dex, I want you to hear this with a guy about Anthony Davis, and I want to ask you guys on this panel: do you guys and the chat? Do you guys feel that Anthony Davis is injury prone?
Yeah.
Dex, what
Yeah.
you think?
I'm gonna say he's fragile.
Okay, when I say injury prone, because people, I guess people get the sentiment when you say injury prone, then they've been injured the whole time you ever seen them play.
Yeah.
And Anthony Davis haven't been like that.
Bobby, the one thing about Anthony Davis too, he won't play while he hurt either. He ain't gonna play while he hurt.
Okay, well, I'm
gonna
going to give you the numbers. I'm going to give you the numbers. I don't know. I don't have them in front of me, but I had them then, and I can kind of remember. The last 2 years are the only 2 years that he's been really out, but he's played 10. So because of what he has did lately, everybody says he's injury prone.
I don't agree with that because I know he played well, he didn't play hurt when he was at what's his name out there in New Orleans, but at the season he played hurt because he wanted to get up out of there. That's my point.
Well, he averaged over 60 games a season with the Pelicans.
Yeah.
He's been hurt with the Lakers.
Right.
He's been hurt both years with the Lakers. Now, he didn't play. He never played 82 games, and that's the reason I brought that up. Is because I brought those 5 players up of the totality in the league who played 82 games.
Right.
Because the first thing people tell me is how many times he played 82 games, and I tell them, hell, ain't nobody in the NBA playing 82 games.
Yeah. No, not a start anyway.
And I don't want my players playing 82 games because they ain't gonna be worth a damn come playoff time. It ain't back like it was in the day. Jordan played 82 games a couple of times in his career, and back in the day, those guys played game after game after game. I mean, I don't know if the players are softer now. I don't believe so. I just believe that they just feel like, hey man, it's like we take days off of work. Shit, I need all day.
Some of them get that no days off mentality also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a catch-22 on that too, man. You know what I did want to ask you, Vern?
Yeah.
What do you have on the Denver Nugget team? Because this team is an enigma. You see them coming back healthy and being a threat in the West?
No, not really. Because they're gonna be that same problem. Jokic and everything, you know what I'm saying? I don't know why Dexter and that goddamn music on.
I can hear you. Go ahead.
All right, because Jokic's going to be a problem, everything else, and all the players going to be a problem. Then when it comes down to the end, it's going to be that same problem before. They ain't going to be healthy, because of their top players, and they fragile,
I now remember, getting these players back take minutes off of other players, which extends the health of the whole team. You know that, right?
Yeah. I understand that. But then how long that goes? Okay, then they're going to be like, okay, it's going to be the same thing for the last 3 years. What was Denver's outcome in the last 3 years? Just see that being the same thing, almost the same flavor this year because they haven't improved themselves as far as talent go. So they still got the same stars. They good too. But are they durable? Jokic's going to give you the same performance. All of them going to give you the same performance. Are they durable? Are they going to be there when it comes down to the end? I don't think so. Because no improvement in the players. Just improvement. Just got players back.
Yeah. Dex, you on the panel?
Yeah, I hear you.
Give me your take on your Nuggets, buddy. Let him know how you feel about that.
On the Nuggets?
Yeah.
What was the question?
Do you think that team is going to be healthy, and how far can they go?
Oh yeah, I think the Nuggets, if they're healthy, they can reach the Western Conference Finals, most definitely.
You don't think they can get over the top?
Well, it's a possibility. I'm not going to go that far just yet because people are still getting players. This is one of the odd season of entering the NBA where players are still being moved around. Normally, you have your team, everything will be set, and you ready to go into training camp. But there's players still being moved around, so I'm gonna hold my britches on that. But I just believe that if the Denver Nuggets are healthy with the players of Murray, KPJ, Aaron, and two-time MVP, current MVP, Jokic, I think they can do damage and they can run amok like Memphis did last season. I think that's what the Denver Nuggets could replace. That Memphis run last season where they finished number 2 in the Western Conference. I think Denver can do
Mike
that.
Malone?
They can supplant Memphis.
It's so ironic you say that, Dex, because I was in a little chat today, and a lot of people got Memphis dropping out, especially with the injury to Jackson. I think that defense is going to be hurt drastically without having Jackson on that team, but I don't see him dropping that far.
How
Do
long
you
is
see him
Jackson gonna
dropping
be out?
at least 30 games?
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I
I
was just
just, I just, I just believe that it's just something about this Denver. It's just toiling, toiling my insides. You know what I mean? It's like it, put money on them to reach the Western Conference. I don't think that will be a far fetch for me, but I just got to see what's going on with this Westbrook thing. That's the only thing that's holding me up. Denver is at a good number right now, as far as the odds. But this Westbrook thing really pains me. And you got the Golden State up there, the hegemony of sovereignty. They up there just looking down on everybody like they too goody two shoes. You know what I mean? Bourgeoisie, San Francisco.
well,
I just think
Dex. I
that
think Dex. I think you're a little biased. You have did it 17 times, so please let's not go there.
what Russell Westbrook.
No, you didn't won the championship 17 times, and you look down on everybody else. So let's leave that alone.
No, that's what Golden State is doing right now. That's why you don't hear anything from them. They up on their high horse, looking down on everybody, thinking they're better. But it's all right. They're gonna get their bubble busted, and maybe Denver might be the one to do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, Marvin. I just caught on. Now I see why Dex was so adamant about Boston and their chances this year and everything else.
Yes.
Oh
You don't want them to overtake the Lakers.
Oh, Dex, don't do that, Dex. Your whole mindset is smart, man. You put your money where your mouth is, not where you don't wear your heart on your sleeve, Dex.
Oh shit! Here we go.
Boy, Dex,
Listen,
don't do that.
listen. Play the
Don't
music, Dex. Turn the music on. Turn the music
yeah,
on, Dex.
turn
I
on, Dex.
did want
About
to
to
say
slow
this
this
though.
down. Burn on his way. We have to slow this down. Next, I'm gonna be
Yes,
a
Lord.
motherfucker, a dummy, stupid, all kind of shit in a minute.
No, I ain't gonna do that, Dex.
I'm gonna
That
say
ain't
this.
smart. That's not smart.
Hold
Stop.
on, man. Let me say this. Dex does a lot of things on the quiet burn, quietly. Earlier on this panel, he also said it was a good thing that something happened to a player that maybe Russell Westbrook could end up over there. He's not wishing bad things on nobody, but in his mind, any way to get Russell out of here to get another player over to the Lakers is fine with him. And leading
Yeah.
to that, that's why I brought it up because I wanted to ask Dex this. What's in the plans for the Los Angeles Lakers, Dex? Is this it? Are you going in the season and what you got with what you got? Or are the Lakers finna make another move? Talk to me, partner.
Is that question for me or is it for Marvin? I
That's
mean,
for
is it for
Dex.
Vern?
That's for
That's for
Dex.
you, Dex. That's for you, Dex. You know I'm asking you.
Well, what I can say right now is still weighing in the balance with the Westbrook thing. I just believe something is brewing with the absence of Chet Holmgren, and that money piece has caused a financial gap in the OKC organization. And I believe Westbrook can fill in that gap and carry them for the year. And it'll be a prodigal son warm welcome back to the red clay out there in Oklahoma. And if they can pull that
Wow.
off and somehow move Jay up there in Utah, because I think Shea will be a perfect guard to run that Utah unit due to the fact Shea ain't never won anything. He's been on slumping teams for a long time. They will pick up his contract, maybe give him another contract, promise him the world. I don't know. And then just drop Donovan Mitchell from off the ski slopes up there in Salt Lake City. And the momentum of that drop will send them right downtown LA.
Wow. Well, not to bust your bubble. I just not to bust your bubble. Just
So I
so
need to
happened
play
I was
music for myself.
yeah, you probably do. But I want you guys to hear this and tell me if you guys agree with this. There's another outrageous trade proposal that then came up, and I just got it off of the Bleacher Report. No, actually, I don't know. I think it was Bleacher Report. But it reads this. The New York Knicks would receive Donovan Mitchell. The Jazz would receive Evan Fournier, Obi Toppin, Emmanuel Quickly, one 2025 first round pick, another 2025 first round pick, top 4 protected via Milwaukee, a 2027 first round pick, and a 2029 first round pick. Would you guys do that shit?
No.
There ain't no way in the hell I'm giving up Fournier, Toppin, Quickly, and 5 picks. No, 4 picks. 5 picks.
4 picks.
No way, man.
I do it with 4 picks, Bob, and not with 5. I stick real close. I stick firm to that 4. No more than 4 picks. You understand me? And anybody can go. It wouldn't make no difference on New York who they got to get here. Anybody can go. It wouldn't make no difference. I wouldn't care if it's Quickly, JR, what's his name, or anybody else. Get that young man.
Vern, that's too much. That's too damn much.
Look, Marvin, this is the point. This is my point. New York is being criticized right now for not making those big front office moves. Real soon, they're going to have to make a choice, especially just after this season, whether they're going to hold on to that coach or not. And that
here's the deal.
That whole organization gonna have to start making changes within that cells because of the fact they're not trying. Go ahead, Marvin. Go ahead.
Okay, Vern. Let me say this. Why would you do that when at the end of this season you can come into the end of this season with all of your players, all of your assets, and there are free agents falling out the sky that you get to bring to your team without giving up nobody.
Ain't nobody going. Marvin,
sense.
Ain't nobody going to New York. So let's stop playing with yourself. Ain't nobody.
Oh yeah, they'll go for the money.
You see what they had. Listen to me. You see what they had to go through to get just what's his name. He wanted to be in New York. You see what they had to do to get him.
They'll get somebody if they offer them the right kind of damn money. The world runs around money. People will come if you pay them. Period.
You're okay. I don't think so, Marvin. There ain't nobody gonna be going to no losing team, and they especially ain't gonna go to no coach like that because look what happened to the last players they had coming to that coach. He set them down so fast because they didn't fit into his program. It was pitiful. We talk about the Kimball Walkers of the world. Stop playing with
Vern, you know one of the worst things in the world that can happen to the Knicks is if they
what?
You do know that would be terrible, right?
What would be one of the worst things to happen to her? What would happen? What would be the worst thing?
if they did this trade and it didn't work?
Oh, it gonna work. It gonna work. It'll work. It'll work just on publicity alone because Donovan Mitchell's in New York with Branson. Boy, I'll tell you, that's a heck of a backcourt. They gonna say they're gonna be small back there, but they're gonna be strong back there. Them young boys gonna be getting it in. It's gonna be a new scene out there in New York. They love it. They gotta do it. They gotta do it. Because they got competition, Marvin. Because they got to make changes. They got competition out there. There's another team out there that's paying big money to make changes out there. New York got to do the same thing, and the fans ain't gonna be standing for another loss because they got to get some good talent out there, and that Bronson is just not enough. So yeah, they're gonna do everything they can. If it comes down to throwing down 5 first-round picks, that's why they got him when got him in the first place, so they could work them. So work it. Thank you, Marvin.
Well, listen, listen, a lot of people are upset about the picks. I'm not upset about the picks. I'm upset that you stripping the team down to little of nothing to get one player.
They little of nothing. They ain't got nothing but one player. That's what's his name, Randall. They should trade him too.
What they got? What? So you don't like Brunson?
I told Bronson. They just got Bronson. He ain't bounced the ball yet.
Oh, so you don't know how he gonna fit in?
Besides Bronson, the rest of the bumps can go, and they just got Bronson, and he ain't bounced the ball yet. Now you get it, Jax?
Okay.
Yeah. So all of them can go.
Well, I think Brunson is instant success. I think he can handle a team. I think he's gonna fit in good with the Knicks.
Yeah, him and
But
Donovan.
here's my question. But the reason I got questions about it is this, Barry. If you do this trade while giving up all of these picks and these players,
Right.
does Donovan Mitchell move the needle? Are you finna win a championship?
Yeah. Yeah. You gonna be
You
in the
said,
mix.
yeah?
Yeah, you gonna be in the mix.
Dex,
Yeah.
you agree?
Hell no.
Yeah. And let him.
No,
and
that's not enough. That's not enough, Vern.
Let him keep that what's that boy Williams, whatever his name, tall skinny one back there. Let him be healthy, keep him, and let him keep Randall. Oh, I'm telling you, they're gonna have a little whip. Yeah, they will, and they can get almost anybody else. It don't make no difference. They can have Forte. He still can play stand if he want to. We really ain't gonna push no button on him. So if he got to go, let him go. But I'm just
they're gonna have 2 little bitty boys back there.
Let him have Williams back there.
I'm different on that. I'm different on that, Dex. I don't believe it would be the situation that those 2 guards couldn't play defense. I don't believe that because
Right.
I mention it to the people all the time. When everybody say that about the Knicks, I go back to this. Were the Knicks heavy on big time defensive guards last year because they were ranked 11th in the league?
Yep.
Who you talking about? Burks?
No, listen,
Burks-
they had Bullock
Burks-
and they had Rose.
No. Bullock, that was year before last. I'm talking about this previous season. They were ranked 11th.
Okay. Yeah, I'm jumping
They
over.
were ranked 11th, which in my mind goes back to the sentiment of this was just basically Tom Thibodeau's defense, not one player. So I don't see the defense being
But rank
real
11.
bad.
I mean, listen, rank 11. That's cool. But rank 11 puts you below average.
Listen, the cutie pie is 10, the top 10. If you 11, you top 10, Dex.
No, it's not really top 10. Not nowadays.
Well, it ain't. It is 11, but so you damn close.
But what I'm saying is that when you down 11, you on the bottom half.
No, you're not.
Bottom
it's 30
tier.
teams. It's 30 teams. You're not. You're in the upper echelon.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the East.
In the East, they were ranked 10th in defense overall. I'm talking about in defense, not
overall.
in a positioning.
Okay. Well, that's not too bad, but you still. I mean,
bad at all.
Yeah, you in the upper echelon, but you in the bottom upper echelon. You really want to be in like top 5, 6 maybe.
That's the best in the league, top 5.
That's what you need. 11. What 11 going to do for you?
Well, the reason I'm mentioning that is because everybody's talking about how their defense is going to fall off if they get Donovan. They were ranked 11th. If they fall off, they go to 15th? That's the middle of the league. They fine. You fall off to go to the middle of the league
Donovan
in
don't play
defense.
no defense though. He doesn't play defense at all.
Okay, you
That's
all
not
right? Do you think
that's
it?
not
All right,
his thing.
all right. So do you think bringing him on would knock him down 5 slots?
I don't.
I don't know, but all I'm saying is you got to have a hell of a scheme if you got Donovan Mitchell. So you're gonna have to do a lot of manipulation.
Well, you got Mitchell Robinson.
That's one person.
That what do you think? How you think they were ranked 11th last year? Because of him?
Everybody don't get the ball. Listen, everybody don't get the ball and try to dunk it. Okay.
Well, okay.
What
So
about what about the mid range? What about the perimeter? That's where you have to sew up your defenses on the perimeter. Once you can get a perimeter lockdown defender, then you're doing well because now it makes it more easier for your big guy to move over because you're giving him time.
Okay.
You're giving him
Okay.
time to react.
Hey,
All right,
Dex.
I got an
Hey, Dex.
easy question for you.
Wait
Hang
a
on
minute.
1 second, Brian. Hang on 1 second, Brian. I got
Go
an
ahead.
easy question for you. Okay, this is the question I want to pose to you is this. The Knicks were ranked 11th overall in defense last year and 27th in offense. Do you think Donovan Mitchell coming to the team brings the team down to a ranking of 12th in offense and the defense goes up to 16th? And if that's the case, they a better team.
Wait a minute. You said defense go up to 16?
Yeah, because they're gonna get
You
worse.
can't go up to 16. You got to go down.
Well, but the numbers are going higher, so that's why I said up. They're gonna get worse. They were ranked 11th. 11th is almost in the upper echelon of defense in the NFL. I mean NBA. If they go to 16 because they bring in Donovan Mitchell because he don't play defense, but he look at his offense, that's going to bring that offense from 27 all the way down to 15.
Right, a seesaw effect.
The team is better.
Yeah, if that type of seesaw effect takes place, yeah, the team would be better offensively, but at the same time, look what the Charlotte Hornet offense was at, and look what happened to them.
But where were their defense?
That's what I'm saying. The defense was probably at the bottom tier. That's where the Knicks defense is going to be if they 16. That's bottom tier.
No, it's 30 teams in the league. If you 15th, you
okay.
At the half.
Listen, Marvin. Listen, just do the math. It's bottom tier. 30, half of 30 is what? 15, right?
Yeah.
Okay, one slot below that is what? The bottom part.
Middle. No, it's not bottom. It's
bottom. It's not the bottom, but it's bottom tier.
That's 500.
4 tiers. 4 tiers, brother. From 5 to 10, and then from 10 to 20, then 20 to 25, and 25 to 30.
Marvin, anything below halfway is considered bottom. Anything above halfway is considered top.
No, anything below 20 is considered bottom.
No, what are you talking about? 15 is half, right? Listen, you got a glass. Let's do it in volume. You got a glass of water.
Yeah, you're right. Well, you're right if you're gonna look at it that way.
Thank you.
But in the NBA, it's not considered like that. Because if you are 15 rated defense, then you halfway. But if you the next person below them at 16, now you're gonna tell me they way worse? No.
Hey, Dex, you finished answering Marvin's question so I can answer it?
Go ahead, Uncle Vern.
All right, Marvin, the thing is about this, what you were saying, that ain't got nothing to do with nothing because of the fact that, like you had already made mention of Dexter said it, the reason why New York was so good at defense was a simple fact. It wasn't the fact that their defensive players actually, it was the fact that their coach's mainstay is defense.
That's right, they scheme.
So they, like you said earlier too, and they gonna scheme real good and a whole lot around Mitchell and them in that backcourt because
that's right.
Do a lot of trapping, and then they offensively bound to always get that ball and then go back on defense. That's gonna bring the offense itself that way anyway. So they gonna go ahead.
I think their offense being so much better with Donovan Mitchell overshadows the defense getting worse.
Thank you.
Listen, when you 27th in offense, but you bring in Donovan Mitchell, you finna jump to about 15th, maybe even lower.
Oh yeah.
Higher, not lower, higher.
Well, the numbers are going lower, Dex. That's why if the number one offense is the number one offense. the number 30 offense is the worst offense.
Right.
That's why I say lower.
I don't understand why you see them going down on the offense. I mean, on defense, though. I can see the offense picking up, but why you think
The
they're going to go
defense is
back to
going to be
defense?
worse. The defense will be worse.
I
I'm
don't
not going to say
understand.
it's going to be a significant jump, but I don't think it'll be as good as it was last year. Simply because Burks was a bigger guard. Period.
I agree with that. I agree with that to a certain extent, but I look at it just like this, dude. There's going to be a lot of scheming going on, so there's going to be a lot of trapping in that backcourt. I understand that too. So I understand that, and those players know how to work around that. Both of those two players play real good for their, individual height. You understand me? They play
But
So,
Burn,
big.
do
Okay.
you trap with miniature guards?
I don't see that being a problem, Dex. I don't know why
Hey,
everybody's got
hey,
that.
Dex. Hey, Dex. Let me remind you that young man. Remember that young man? His name will come to you real fast. Look at that young boy that play out there in Portland. He played real good. Donovan, that other guy, whatever his name, it ain't
Damian
Donovan.
Lillard.
There you
Damon,
go.
No
So
defense, Dame. No defense, Dame.
don't play no defense, Vern.
what did neither
But his
do
offense, but his offense on the chapter.
we
So bubble.
we are not. The Dex question was about Donovan Mitchell game. I look at Donovan Mitchell game the same way as what's his name game out there in Portland, and he's done very good for himself, Dex, and he
Now,
played.
Dame is the truth. We ain't got no problem with Dame offensively, but the problem was his defense. But what I'm saying is that you got Bronson and you got Mitchell, both 6'1" guards. How are you gonna trap with that size? People can look right over them. They can see him coming.
I don't
So
see
I
no
think
big
that'll be a
problem.
detriment.
I just don't see a big problem in it myself. I don't.
I don't either, because Bronson didn't have no problem when he was out there in Dallas, and Mitchell didn't have no
And
problem
Luka
with
But
don't
him out
play
Luca,
no
but,
defense
but
either.
Luca is 6'8".
Yeah, and matter of fact, I saw Mitchell and Donovan Mitchell and what's his name playing in the back. What's his name? Cowrie, whatever his name is, playing in the backcourt together out there in Utah. They didn't have no problems.
They did have problems. They couldn't get nowhere. That's why they broke the team up.
That was the team. That was the team. That was the team.
And
Conley
they
is
try to
good
put everything on Rudy Gobert. Shit.
individually
Rudy
wise.
Gobert telling them, man, y'all stop somebody up there. Y'all on
Okay,
the 3-point line and they just dribbling right past y'all like water.
okay. Now
Well, hold
look
on.
at
Now, Larry James in the chat writes, New York got Mitch Robb and a lot of other defenders in New York. How about that?
yeah, Mitchell Robinson. Yeah, and some good defenders. Yeah, they okay, but they just
Yeah, I don't see Donovan Mitchell coming to the Knicks and it being such a problem like everybody thinks about the
I
guard
don't either.
height. I don't think that. Because
No,
it's
I
a
think
team game. It's a team game, and overall, in the overall sense, to me, it's more or less of what they give up to get him. Now, if you strip that bench by giving up quickly, Grimes, Obi, now you hurting the team more than you are with Donovan Mitchell's defense, because now even when he comes out of the game, you don't have no defense because you didn't gave up your whole damn bench. So I think it's predicated to me on making sure you give up the right pieces without stripping your team completely. You know you're going to have a deficiency on defense if you bring him in. So that means you cannot give up those top defenders that are on the defense. I mean, on the bench.
okay.
So to me, I feel that way.
Okay, hey, Barbara, that was the case there. But remember what you just said when they were going to give up. You just quickly out of all three of the guys you just named, quickly is the only one I would have a second thought about giving up. But he can go too, Marvin, for that
Yeah.
young.
I mean, for Donovan Mitchell, I guess so. And you're
Yeah,
getting a chance to, and you're getting a chance to keep Quentin Grimes.
yeah.
You know.
If that's what you want. I don't know how good Grimes is. I seen Quickly game. I like Quickly game, but I don't watch New York like that, so I really don't know them like
I
that.
agree with you too, baby.
Hey, listen, not watching New York is not doing anybody a disservice. I can tell you that.
Now, Dex, don't be biased. So there's a lot of New York Knicks fans out there. Be nice. How about that?
I pray for him.
Shout out to the
Well,
New York Knicks fans.
you know what, Dex? And I honestly say this truthfully. I pray for all of us as 29 teams that didn't win the damn championship because we all hungry. How about that?
No, I ain't speaking like that. If you a New York Knicks fan right now in 2022 going into 2023 and you still with that die hard mentality, I just gotta admit that you just a stickler for pain. That's
Well,
all I can say.
you saying this because Marquez is not on this panel because he had a hissy fit last night over a couple of guys, including CWE Bed-Stuy. They had it all last night about the damn Nets and the Knicks. And please don't talk too loud because Marquez will be on this panel in a second, brother.
Yeah.
Marquez almost had a damn hissy fit last night with CW. They had it out, brother. And you know what, Dex? That's what I couldn't understand. I was trying to get to the bottom of that. Now these guys, one of them is a Brooklyn fan and one is a Knick fan, and they hate each other. They hate each other's team.
Welcome to
Like,
Brooklyn.
they both in New York.
Marquez
Why
is
would you be
confused
mad?
anyway. He confused anyway. He liked the Lakers and he liked New York.
Man,
Well,
y'all
he
just
must be confused on the New York side, not on the Lakers side.
Yeah.
Okay, Laker. I mean, listen to me tomorrow, Laker. Okay, Dex. Is it the same in LA about the Clippers and the Lakers?
No, we don't. There's no beef because Clippers ain't won nothing.
So in other
How you
words,
gonna beef with somebody ain't won nothing?
all right, well, let me say this. So
We
if the
just look
Clippers,
at the Clippers' poor little brother.
all right, let me ask you this. So if the Clippers won the chip, would you go for them?
Of course,
There you go.
I've
That's
been
all I
to
want.
Clipper games, but like I told you before, the best thing of going to Clipper game is you can see the other team for cheap.
Oh, that
See,
makes sense.
it's always some in it for you, ain't it, Dex? It's
Oh,
always something.
I'm saying that's my Dex. That's what I'm talking about. That's the Dex I know and love.
Dex, he's always got a hidden agenda. You know what I mean, man?
What?
Dex, you better be glad. Let me say this, Dex. You ought to be real happy if there's not a whole lot of me walking around on this earth because I see straight through that shit. You need to stop it.
There's no hidden agenda. There's no hidden agenda. I'm being blunt, honest. The only
I know.
good thing about going to a Clipper game is you can see the other team for cheap. That's it.
The irony. That's all I'm gonna say.
And I've been to plenty of Clipper games. It's no
Let's
big
move
deal. I
on.
can sit there and cheer.
Let's move on. You know what's gonna happen to you for saying things like that? They gonna win it, and you gonna be one hurt soul.
No, I just told you I don't have nothing against the Clippers. I just told you that already. I spent money in that stadium, and I can't wait till they go into the new stadium in the Inuit Dome so I can just go in and cheer for the Clippers and watch, the good teams play like Brooklyn. If Brooklyn's hopefully they still together, because I'm tired of paying that damn Laker money for seeing them damn Brooklyn Nets. Cause old girl want to see Brooklyn.
It's a big difference. It's a big difference between going to a Clipper game and get to pay $500 for the best seat in the house, and then go to a Lakers home game and pay $5,000 for the best seat in the house.
Exactly.
Yeah, there would be a difference. Hey man,
You
listen
get
to
you a
this.
Clipper ticket. You can get you a Clipper ticket. You could damn near trip the ref.
Yeah, listen to this statement that CW Bed put in the chat. He says the Nets joined the NBA in 1977. The Knicks ownership begged for the Nets to move out of New York. They didn't want to share the city. You guys believe that?
It's a possibility. He probably researched the history, but I know that the Nets used to be New York Nets. You know what I'm saying? So they used to be a New York team. I think they was based in Long Island, and then they moved to New Jersey, and now they're in Brooklyn. So that's possible. That's his team. He knows the history.
Wow. I'm like you, Dex. If the Bears, Cubs, White Sox, I don't give a damn what Chicago team won. I'm going with them. I'm more of a Cub fan than I am a White Sox fan, but I'd be damned if I'm not going to be happy if the White Sox win the World Series.
Right, they had their chance to win and got mopped.
You know what? See, boy, you just.
But I was cheering for the softball team. I was cheering for the White Sox.
The softball team? What the hell? You think I don't catch those games?
You see their uniforms lately?
You you talking about the ones who the Dodgers. They got the Dodgers playing but all out ball this year. You seen that record?
Man, I'm loving every minute of it.
You
And
know
then,
what?
wait, who won the Little League World Series? Did Hawaii
I
win the championship?
man, I ain't had a chance. I've been on basketball shit. I'm damn near on my 8th damn book writing shit about basketball. Hell, I don't know.
Ranzo, hey, Jerry Ranzoff still on the? Do he still own the Sox?
Yes,
Do he still own the Blackhawks?
yes,
Boy, do he still own the Bulls?
yes.
You keep on giving them fools your money, fool.
He owned every damn thing
Hey,
except the damn Cubs.
Bobby, I said I called you a fool. I'm sorry. You didn't hear me. I'm glad you didn't hear me, Bobby. No, I'm not going to call you a fool, Bobby. You just keep being foolish and giving people your money and your hope.
I'm in Dallas. I ain't giving them a damn thing.
Right.
I ain't even got the damn NBA play pass, whatever it's called. I ain't paying nobody nothing.
All right.
Gee.
All right, Bobby. All right. Yeah.
You know what? But you know what? Now, with you saying that, people think he's so cheap. Did you know the Wrigley family is fucking cheaper than him? The ones who own Wrigley Field, the Cubs?
Yeah, well, they own the what's the name, the Tribune too, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They got the Wrigley's got a mansion in my city.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, do they?
Yeah. I ain't surprised. Yeah, they got.
We should go to the Wrigley Mansion every year to see the Christmas decoration.
Yeah. Hey, Marvin, it's like I told you, and I ain't got no problem with telling people. I got through with the Bulls when they.
But let me do this real quick. Let me do this real quick. Hold on one second, everybody. Everybody, just hold on one second. Shout out to Flight Sports TV, the machine, the voice of the voiceless, the people's champ, the hottest shit in these streets. Shout out to the panel. Shout out to the chat. The chat is going wild right now, and it's been going wild all night. And shout out to everybody that's still rocking with us. All I want to do is salute to everybody, and I definitely want to salute to the Little League World Series champs, Hawaii. They done it again. I believe this is their 4th title. Shout out to the West. Shout out to the tropical island of Hawaii for winning the Little League International World Series. They beat Curacao, a Caribbean nation. Beautiful people over there in Curacao. Shout out to them for their participation, but they got their heads peeled by Hawaii 13-3, and Hawaii is the Little League World Series champions.
Okay. Again, shout out to the Little League World Series champions of Hawaii.
Shout out.
Yeah.
Dex, before Flight kick us off of this panel, I had 2 questions I wanted to ask you. They're not related to basketball, but I just want to see where your intellect is. Would you mind taking this quiz, please, sir?
Oh my God, Marvin, you know I'm trying to hold on as much as I can with my brain power, but I give it a crack.
I'm gonna say this. These are not too far-fetched. You don't have to go to Harvard to get them right. You might have needed to go to Yale, but I don't think they should bother you too much. They're more of a mind twister than anything that you actually should just think about before you answer. How about that?
I'll give it a shot. I already answered one of your, you said how many players played 82 games. I nailed it on the head, 5. So I don't know what you're trying to do to me, Marvin.
Okay, well, I'm going to ask you a sports question then. In baseball, how many outs are there in an inning?
3.
Vern?
Like he said, 3.
It's 6. 3 in the top, 3 in the bottom.
Oh, that was a good one. Yeah, you're right. I'm thinking like per half an inning is 3. You're right, because they go to full inning. Yeah, half an inning. You're right, Marvin.
That's why it's called half an inning.
That's right.
Now you see that wasn't too hard on your brain. You just realized you was wrong.
It was actually it was, because I'm thinking, whatever team that's up bat, they only get 3 outs.
Right, that's it.
I'm not thinking about the bottom team. Yeah.
All right. Now this one You don't have to think about sports. And this is to you and the chat also, Vern.
All right.
All right. How many animals did Moses take on the ark?
Noah, not Moses.
Dex, if you know the answer, don't. Have you ever been in class?
Yes.
Well,
And I
why
did
didn't
the
hear what
same
you said?
thing in class. Got a paddle. You know,
Yeah,
you remember we used to get paddles when we were younger.
Me being
that
a
was
Speak
me.
out
former
of turn. They're called speak out of turn.
Okay, all right. To Vern in the chat, the question was this: how many of each animal species did Moses take on the ark? Don't answer, Dex.
Okay, well, to answer that is the same thing like Dex said. Moses is the one that was in Israel and led the slaves up out of Israel. So I don't know about no ark during Moses' time, but Noah, how many
The
animals?
answer is
Yeah,
zero. The answer
yeah,
is zero.
zero.
Moses didn't take any. Noah did.
But
Right.
Moses did deal with an ark, though, the Ark of the Covenant.
The Ark of the
Always
Covenant.
remember that.
Yeah, boy.
Moses did have the Ark of the Covenant.
Yep, sure
All
did.
right, smarty pants, Dex. How
See,
many
there you go.
2 cents?
See, I don't like how you said that.
How
I'm
many
still,
two? All right, and hold up, Vern and Dex. If you know the answer, please let somebody else say it. Don't call this answer out.
Only
uh,
Okay.
person here is Marquez.
Well, Marquez on the
Oh
panel.
no, he's not here no more. No, he dropped off.
All right, to the chat and to Vern and to you. But you guys just hold your thoughts. Think about it before you answer. How many 2 cent stamps are there in a dozen? Do not answer yet. Just think about it. I'm gonna read it again. How many 2 cent stamps are there in a dozen? Vern,
I'll say 6.
Dex,
The stamps don't even cost 2 cents nowadays.
I will read the question again. How many 2 cent stamps are there in a dozen? Give me your answer.
I'm gonna have to say 0.
All right, if I'm not looking at the chat, if you see anybody in the chat write anything down, let me
Nobody
know.
writing them down.
Okay, the answer is 12. You can't get 12 out of nothing. Dozen is 12. So I don't give a damn how many they cost. 2 cent stamps, you're getting 12 out of a dozen. 12, guys, 12. Why would
Okay.
you get 6, Byron?
Well, I know
Just
I
because
bought
they
some
two
stamps lately, and
cents.
them stamps is damn near 60 cents.
Okay,
The key to
so
the key to the question is the 2 cents throws you off, but it's
right,
still a dozen. It's just 12 of them. They just 2 cent, 12 2 cent stamps.
Gotcha.
right. I got caught up on something thinking of
Yeah,
past
you
that.
got caught up on the two. That's why the question reads 2 cents to throw you
Right,
off.
I got you.
I'm gonna give you
Uh,
one more because Dex head's gonna be blowing up in a minute if I keep giving him shit like this. I got one more that's easy. I give these
okay.
tests, I give these quizzes at parties. I have them on I do pages of them, Dex and Vern. And if it's a
Yep.
bunch of people in the room,
Come on
it's
with the
12.
next answer, old fart.
All right, here you go. If you have 3 apples and you take away 2, how many do you have? Do not answer yet. Think about it. I'm gonna read it again. If you have three apples and you take away 2, how many do you have? Dex, you go first.
3.
Vern,
1.
wow. I'm gonna read the question one more time because both of y'all are wrong. If you have 3 apples and you take away 2, you have 2.
That's a good one. That's almost like a joke. That's a good one.
All right, why is that? How is that possible?
Because you
Because
took
you
away,
take 2 with you. You take 2 with you.
you took 2. Why
Oh,
would you only have
if you take it away, right? Boy, I'm telling you, Bobby, you're a genius, Bobby.
one?
Yeah, that was a good
Never.
one. I like that one.
These are little mind twisters, man. Like I say, that I love to do, especially when people are drunk at a party, a house party.
Right.
You're gonna have a lot of fun with these things, man. Here's a good one for you, Dex. I know you're smart. Can a California man legally marry his widow's sister? I'll read it again. Can a California man legally marry his widow's sister?
I would say yes.
I don't know the law on that one, to be honest with you.
Okay. Not to linger on about the question.
I would say yes.
There is no law to that, Dex.
Yeah.
If his widow's sister is in the picture, he's dead.
Right.
He can't marry no damn body.
Oh, I didn't get that. God, oh,
He's
you
dead. And his widow's sister. That means he dead. And you talking about his sister? No.
Right.
What throws you off in that question?
That means
the California thing. The California thing. That's why Dex said law. Because in the state of California, there are laws about where marriage and all of this. But that's why the question. That's why I worded it in such. Put California in it to throw you off in the sense to think, damn, he might be able to, but then you forget widow. If anybody's a widow, then their husband is dead.
Hey, you know, Marvin ain't gonna throw you off. That one, I got a question with Dex because he probably know the answer to this. You know, the Hebrew Israelites, you know, they can have more than one wives. And when you, this is America, so you got a right to practice your religion and stuff like that. You understand? They give you that edible rights. Are they doing that out there? And they legally getting away with marrying more than one woman?
That I'm not sure with, because California is really strict on monogamy.
Yeah.
And one man, one woman. But I think those groups, they go to states that adhere to that and accept that. So you don't see them real deep in California. You see them, you know, here and there. So most likely, I don't know if bigamy is legal regardless of religion. I think that's unlawful and it's illegal in California.
Right, because I know those Mormons. I think that if I'm not mistaken, the Mormons also do the same thing. You understand?
Right.
If I'm not mistaken, because they be having. Yeah, as a matter of fact, they do that same thing, and I think it's legal with them because I know they're not out there putting the people in jail for polygamy. But I don't know. That was a question I had to ask about that. I'm gonna tell you, I like the world going. Yeah, good. Yep. Yeah, but that's all I wanted to do. I'm sorry. You can go ahead back on with your question now. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back to basketball, but hang on 1 second, guys.
Now, the thing of it is this right here, right? You got a black man, you got a Chinese,
Oh hell.
and you have a Caucasian.
Okay.
And all three of them go out fishing. And when they go out fishing, they come back to their wives looking different.
Oh,
the Chinese man, ear was too long. Wife said, "Hey, something wrong with your ear." And he said, "Oh, my ear? Oh, gotta see doctor. I gotta see doctor." The Caucasian man came in and something was wrong with the bottom of his lip. And the wife said, "Honey, what the hell is wrong with your lip?" And he looked down at his lip and like, "Oh my God, I gotta go see the doctor." Went to go see the doctor. The black man came in, something wrong with his lip, his eye hanging out, and his ear was enlarged. And his wife said, "Babe, your face looked contorted. I think something wrong." He goes into the mirror, he looks at his face and everything. He's like, "Shit, man, I get over it. Don't worry about it. Just give me a bath, rub some oil on me, and I'll be good." So she was like, okay, you sure you don't want to go see the doctor? Nah, man, that's what them folks down there, man. You go down there, they start saying a whole lot of stuff wrong with you. I ain't finna do all that. Just give me an Epsom salt bath and I'll be cool, honey. So as he go and get his bath, he undresses and everything, his eye hanging out, lip dripping, his ear enlarged, and he just shake his head like, oh, shit. Man, I should never went out there fishing. But once he got into that tub and he looked down at himself and he noticed there was a whole lot of shrinkage. He said, babe, call the doctor instantly. Something wrong with me. Babe, something wrong with me.
Dex, you a fool, boy. You a fool, Dex. You know, I just happened to bring my other device up and I was reading in the chat that CW Bed got that question I gave about the widow thing he put in there. He did. So to you, CWE, and to the rest of the panel, I have one more question for you. Dex, listen to this one carefully. Vern, listen to this one with all your heart.
Salute Dex, Vern. Salute Mark. What's going on, y'all? Chance.
What's up?
Yeah, we got Chance on the panel.
What's up, Chance?
I gave Chance a couple of these questions the other day. He wasn't real happy about them, so I let him go last. Listen up, guys. Now listen carefully. This is to the chat. This is to Chance, Vern, and Dex. Listen up. A man rides into town on Sunday. 3 days later, he leaves on Sunday. How does he do this? Don't answer yet. Think about it. I'm going to read it again. A man rides in town on Sunday. 3 days later, he leaves on Sunday. How does he do this?
He walked the other days.
That's not the answer.
No, that's not it.
Think about it again. I'm going to say it one more time. One more time, Chance.
Going in on Sunday.
A man rides. And you know, also, when I'm saying these questions, guys, listen to my little expression.
Yeah.
And sometimes when I say them, they don't give you the answer, but they might head you in the right direction. I'm going to start over. A man rides in town on Sunday. 3 days later, he leaves on Sunday.
Man rides in town on Sunday.
Now, if anybody got any kind of answers, you can try them now.
3 days later, he rides out on Sunday.
Hey, Marvin, I got the answer. Marvin, I got the answer. Can I give it to you?
Go ahead, sir.
Go ahead.
All right, Sunday is the goddamn horse.
Hello, you a smart motherfucker. Ding, 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 ding,
Yeah, that was a good one, Vern. That was a good one. That was a good one, Vern.
Chance, you wouldn't have never got that right. So be quiet.
What are you talking about? I got a game right yesterday.
Yeah, I'm joking with you, Chance. I know you did.
No, that was a good one though. Because I was thinking, I was struggling to think that that either Sunday was the horse or then he had 2 others with him. So yeah.
Yes, Sunday is the horse. Now, Vern, I do want to ask you, what made you come to that conclusion?
He looked it up.
Because I heard the joke before.
No, it ain't nowhere to be looked up.
I heard it before.
Oh, you heard it before?
You heard it before, Vern?
I heard it before, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I got about 20 more, but I want to go back to sports.
Yeah.
I don't want to keep asking questions because it takes me back to my classes. I don't want that.
I don't think the Nets need anybody though. Like the Nets got a good squad. They just got to come together and actually play.
I agree.
Brooklyn?
Yeah. Somebody said Best he said the Nets need Morris or the Nets is getting Morris. And I'm like, well, the Nets don't really need anybody else. They just need to actually come together as a team that they have and actually form a team.
And you know what? To that statement that he said, is Morris leaving the Clippers?
I don't see why.
I heard he was.
Why is he on par with the culture?
Is he? No, I think he's expendable. Don't they have man? Don't they have man there?
I mean, come on now. Morris is not somebody you just. I don't think Morris is expendable like that because of the numbers.
He is.
Huh?
He is
He is?
like that. Yeah, I would say so. He get his numbers. He get his numbers and everything else.
Oh,
And
no,
he's
no, it
good
wasn't even
enough.
about the numbers. It was just the impact that he has on the game. Like when he's on the defensive end, you know what I mean? Offensive end, he can spread it out a little bit. You know, he can spread out the floor. So,
All right,
Yeah.
offensive. He ain't
I
really
just
all
want to,
defensive.
give a shout out to Mo. He puts in the chat. But Marvin, you could also ride a bike. I know that, Mo. But I was referring to a horse.
Yeah.
oh, okay. He said we can also ride a bike. Yeah.
Yeah.
That would make
Yeah.
sense.
That
Yeah.
ain't gonna
That
be.
didn't go with the joke, but all right. But you said Morris is expendable?
I would think.
Well, wouldn't he be if you got Charles Mann?
Yeah.
But you mean but is man consistent enough?
Well, I mean, yeah. If you're gonna take a bunch of the money off your books, hell yeah, he's consistent enough. Morris
No, I'm
contract
talking about the man that we know that was there. Like the man that we know that's there.
No, I was being sarcastic. What I'm
Oh, you
saying
being
is,
facetious. Okay.
yeah, what I'm saying is, if this guy a whole lot cheaper, he can give me half of it. Fuck it, you can go. You know what I mean?
Now you got a point there. Now you got a point there.
Yeah, that's what I mean by that.
But the
Because you
Clippers,
look
I
at
don't think the Clippers are worried about money though, man. They're $1 billion owner. He's not worried about money. He's worried about that championship that he got to get from LA. Like I think that's what really is going on in LA. Like because the Clippers right now, the Lakers and the Clippers right now, right, are really battling for the LA spot. The Lakers are always going to be LA all day, right? But the Clippers have something. Clippers can do something right now that there's never been done in LA history, which is actually take over how the Lakers are being seen in LA and try to form it for them now.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
With LeBron flip flopping like that, a lot of Laker fans don't know. They're on the cusp. They're on maybe.
You're right. And with that being said, guys, I wanted to ask y'all because I was on a FYF show today, and he did a top 5 teams in the NBA list. So I wanted to get you guys on that. I wanted to see what you, Dex, and Vern had. I mean, this is all of the NBA, not East and West. Which top 5 teams you guys, and you don't have to put them in order. Just give me your top 5 teams.
Now, are we saying that's coming out this year, or are we saying from last year?
From right now, current
right now.
roster.
Okay. Anybody can start. Y'all go ahead.
The Bulls.
You got
the Bulls, Boston. Golden State again. Man. I want to say the Lakers. I'll say the Lakers. I'm gonna say the Lakers just on the
you put the Lakers in the top 5 of the NBA.
Right. Okay, there's right there.
That's
Lakers. 4. Okay, I got 4. Okay, let me see. I can't say the Clippers and I can't say Dallas or the rest of them. So I want to say,
bro, you didn't put Miami in there, bro.
Oh, come on, Chance, please. You know what, Chance? I wanted to say don't mention no teams. The reason I wanted to say that is because on that panel I was on today, 10 people, neither one of them picked Miami except me.
That's crazy.
No.
That's ludicrous. That means they ain't watching NBA. They just going off a team that they like.
And I tell you why. A lot of them didn't pick them because they felt like me and you were having the conversation about them losing PJ Tucker and not replacing it.
Bro, PJ Tucker does not mean that you lose a whole bro. PJ Tucker did not come in there averaging 20 points a game. He did not come in there averaging 5 steals. He did not come in there averaging 15 rebounds. He didn't do none of these things for my team.
Chance, just pat me on the back. I was the only one who chose your team.
I don't even pat you on the back, bro. I salute you.
I'm just letting you know I know basketball. Listen, first of all, you have to start with knowing who are the best defensive teams in the league.
Exactly.
And Miami is up in the upper echelon of that. So
bro, we're top
3. Give one more, Vern.
My bad, Vern.
What I was okay. I wasn't gonna say Miami at all, and I don't think that highly. I don't even think that highly of Miami because of the fact that look at their center. So you gotta go when you go into the to that playoff run. You're gonna have to have more than just that kind of that rim protection. Ain't no real protection for Miami like that. And then Miami laid up there like you did when he said they just lost their best defensive player. So they going down. You talk about going into this year, they going down. They're not coming up. They didn't make no improvement. What they hoping that they can do to uplift themselves and put them in that position, they hoping that they can get KD.
So who's your 5th?
You go with your fifth, yeah.
Say it again.
Who was your fifth?
Your 15.
Bucks. The Bucks.
I thought you were going to forget. All right,
Okay.
go ahead, Chance.
Nah, I wasn't gonna let the Bucks go.
You already know what I'm gonna say, bro. It's bro. To me, it's Miami, the Clippers, the Warriors. I'm not gonna say the Celtics. I think that was a lucky ride. The Bucks, and I'm sorry. Fuck, I hate LeBron. I'm gonna have to say the Lakers, bro.
You think the Lakers in the top 5 also?
For me personally, I just don't see the NBA letting the Lakers fall behind like that again. I just don't see
top
it, man.
top five team?
Bro, they have the squad for it. They literally have the squad for a top 5 team. It's just, are they going to come together and play like that? So I believe this year, with everybody saying that what they're saying, LeBron's coming out. Yeah, I do. I have them actually at the top of the West.
Dex, you still on the panel? He probably sleep. Oh man. Yeah, he gone. It's too late. He got his thumb in his mouth now.
Yeah, 10 o'clock is too late. Damn.
Well, it's only it's 12 in Dallas.
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right. So my top 5 is a little different. I guess it's not too different, but yeah, it is different. I base my top 5 on what holds true to the NBA every year, and that's good defense makes good offense. And with that being said, I would have to start with Miami, Boston, no particular order on the best team. I'm just giving 5. Miami and Boston, Phoenix, and Golden State. They were the top 4 teams in defense last year. I don't see them falling out of that place this year coming up. Now, my 5th team, I'm up in the air because I'm basing this on, because I said at the beginning, all of these teams are healthy and full roster. In the middle of the year, the Bulls were the number 1 team in the East with the top 10 offense and the top 10 defense. I'm not going to give them the nod at number 5 over Milwaukee, but I'm going to give them real close with a high consideration to the Pelicans also. So I'm saying Miami, Boston, Phoenix, Golden State. I'm going to have to go with Milwaukee at 5 with a heavy consideration of Bulls and Pelicans close behind. I'm not saying that I'm not mentioning the Clippers. I'm not saying I'm not mentioning the Nuggets for the very reason of their situation to me is predicated heavily on health. And if anything goes wrong on health-wise, I don't see them being top 5. And as far as the Lakers, one wrong move, attitudes change in LA, it can blow up again the same way. So I just don't see them in the top 5. I do have them in the top 10. But when you say top 5, we talking about teams that's on the cusp.
Yeah, we're about to get up out of here.
Right.
We're about to get up out of here. We're gonna pull back up tomorrow.
All right, Flight. Thanks, man, for letting me know.
All right,
Check out the uploads. We put out some stuff. Flight Sports TV.
Flight Sports TV, man. That's my dude. I rolls with him.
You heard what the man said. It's Flight Sports TV.
Like I said, Flight Sports TV.